take us back. Let's do a quick recap on where we last left off. Our team, each individual finding their way to Titan's Fall, equally vested in the opportunity to take advantage of what Titan's Fall has to offer, forced or compelled or found in a situation where earning citizenship meant a combat to the death. And with the combat to the death came the best challenge that our friends could have with one another. Without really knowing each other, except during the time of purification and preparation for the match, it was during combat that they seemed to have an innate bond or innate understanding of each other's capabilities and what they could do. Not only surviving the death match, but possibly garnishing attention that has yet to reveal itself, as all the 5 houses were in attendance. Since it was the end of the season of Light, it was also one of the most popular conclusions to the contests, as many other dozens were competing over the course of a 2-week period. It was at this point they met the Drake Master, who was overseeing the match. Pharaoh, as she would later introduce ourselves telepathically to a particular Templar that has decided to hold that information close to his own knowing. It was at this point they were also introduced to the Hall of Reception, where they were given a full tour, magically, of the 5 wards. Brought up to speed on the different wards, the different houses that oversee these wards. Probably the most important family household would be the Brayburn household, who is currently the High Mage that sits at the head of the Mage Council. It would seem that Titan's Fall has no shortage of wealth in which to show off to our new citizens, as now that they have citizenship, the very first thing they noticed was not only the ubiquitous use of very expensive slaves, but great giant pitchers of water on trays made of metal that were just handed out as if water itself was nothing and very casual in its use. As all of us now know, that the very essence of water is both economy and the ability to stay alive once you're outside of the control and the influence of the major centers that have managed to turn this world towards their favor. Our team was then taken to the Iron Spike Inn, where they were told that for the next 30 days, as part of the tradition and the conclusion of the death match, that they would be sequestered, monitored, but still free to move throughout the citizen ward. Once here, there was some discovery of some nearby shops and some nearby entertainment places, as they seem to have settled into a very typical section of the citizen ward. They later then found themselves in possession of their room. Certain insights were gathered through casual conversation or even physical insights based on certain behaviors that were going on as well. It was at this point Somni was or had noticed a particular individual carrying a talisman or small necklace that seemed to shine with the essence or magical pantheon understanding of Symphoneus, garnishing his attention and being aware that how dangerous it is to show such things around here could possibly get you killed as well. As everybody settled into a long rest deserved after the match, everybody woke up the following morning, and the smell of breakfast and the noise of the Iron Spike Inn waking up both up above and below. It was during this time 2 things happened. One, we suffered a tragic technology failure. The Pantheon god known as Frontier Communication did strike one of our members down, but he is back. So some of this might be a little new to him, as he was kind of cut off midway through this process. Grayson, bringing up the rear of the group, heard
As I do.
Yes, as you do. heard a particular noise that got her attention. She could hear the muffled scream of somebody in charge, or somebody who was being the muffled scream of someone being either possibly hurt or trussed up or taken into captivity. She quickly made a decision of kicking in the door and nearly broke her ankle in the process. It was only then followed up by the others who saw what was going on. They came to Grayson's aid, and the door was managed to kicked in and burst open. Many of us have seen many a party die to a door that won't open. They, however, on their second try, did quite well. Inside was a very large, tall, burly man overlooking the trussed-up figure of the familiar barmaid from the previous day. She was gagged, tied up, and lying on the ground. 3 or 4 individuals encircling her, other individuals flanking off to the walls of this common space. And with that, when Somni did see that she was in trouble, he rushed into the center of the room to do what Templars do most. So, everybody, please roll for initiative for me, please.
What Templars do most or best?
Most.
Both? Yeah, yes. And remember, if you have to kick a door more than once to open it, you're just knocking.
True. I hit it with a hammer, though.
So... Ooh, hammer time.
Hammer time.
Well, all right. Initiative, shall we? Yeah, let's go, 10.
With my particular mind powers from the School of War, I get all the way up to a 19.
Hate you.
All right.
I get cleric initiative, also 10.
16.
Nice.
I'll go last.
But I suppose it depends on what your dex is, good sir.
It's actually not terrible. 17.
Much better than mine, good sir.
Oh,
Not
All right.
terrible.
With that, Somni, what'd you get?
a 10, sir.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, look, there's a battle map. Oh, cool.
Grayson, what'd you get?
Ah, yes.
Also a fiend.
The Eye of Arcanum is open.
Alyssa, what'd you get?
I got a 6.
6. And Harrow and Grayson, you both got the same, I take it?
No, me and Somni both
Oh,
got 10s.
Gotcha.
Harrow got a 19. Yes,
Gotcha.
and Stara got a 16.
All right. Harrow a 19, Grayson a 10, and Alyssa. Oops, sorry. Was looking at the wrong. Dara. I've got 3 screens here, and I was looking at the wrong one. And Dara.
Way to go,
with
DM.
a 6.
I also have 3 screens here, but that one's for work.
So with that, our baddies are going to go last. So Harrow, you are up, and then Grayson, do you have the higher decks?
Probably.
Yeah. So Grayson, you'll be on deck. Harrow, what would you like to do? As you can see in the very middle of the room, you can see the barmaid is currently trussed up and being held on the ground. The large blonde individual has his foot on her legs. He is flanked by other individuals similar to him, but not quite equal to size. You can see a couple orcish individuals throughout the room. You can also see a gentleman holding a spear in the back right-hand portion of the room. They do not seem to be fixated on you. So right now, the act of bursting into this room, this first round of initiative is going to be a free action. So you can do 1 action now, and then we're going to go into initiative.
Quickly, throw yourself on the floor and act like a baby.
Hey, it works in the arena.
I know his moves.
Because Somni was the one who kicked this door open, and or was it Gray? Sorry, was it Gray?
I hit it with a hammer.
Oh, that's right. Yes. My folks here hit it with a hammer and opened it. I suppose that we're going to do something about this. And so I sort of disdainfully just sort of like wave my fingers and step back a bit to let people actually go forth and physically handle it.
Okay.
I'm going to be aiming this a little weird because it's everyone within 20 feet of a point. So I'm going to try to aim it high enough and away that it doesn't like get the woman in the sphere of it.
Okay.
But I'm going to be casting sleep.
Okay. Go for it.
Oh, I thought it
All
was a
right,
fireball. I was very excited.
I'm gonna use this electronic roller so I don't actually have to roll 5d8. Okay, good stuff. Good roll. I drop 26 hit points worth of enemy.
Did you just yell Shazam?
You watch.
No, I went.
You watch as one of the guards or one of the captors around her just falls to the floor. And blissfully.
Yes, and I sort of walk backward about 10 paces.
Okay. That'll put you right in the doorway.
Yeah, you think I'm using fireball on them, Grayson? Come on.
In a
Yes.
small
Yes, I
way.
do.
Well, actually,
From everything I know about you,
Actually, so because you got the surprise, you can do a single action. So you're not going to be able to move.
Oh, okay. No worries. I just do that.
So everybody's going to get their free action first. Then you can go again at the top of the initiative order. So Grayson, what would you like to do with your free action?
Dara, because she.
Oh,
got
I'm sorry,
16.
yeah,
I
Dara.
got a 10.
Oh, I thought she got a 6. She cut out. I'm
No,
sorry.
16.
Gotcha.
Okay.
My bad. My bad.
So casting sleep, I couldn't quite hear that last bit. So is everybody asleep or just? And I didn't.
Just one of the individuals that was involved in taking the barmaid into custody, capture, however you want to call it. One of them has slumped to the floor.
Got it. Okay. And so how many more are left?
Quite a few, actually. You've got at least 3 plus the big guy around her. There's at least 2 orcs posted up on either side of the room, and there seems to be another individual posted on the backside wall holding a spear. And if you can't see it in Discord, you can pop that window out and make it bigger if you want to.
Yeah.
That might help. I have the advantage of having it like 5 or 2 feet in front of me.
Okay. So I guess Dara would come in and
Your mic is cutting out a lot, Alyssa.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was kind of mumbling there. Can you hear better now?
Yeah, you might want to, if you're using your laptop mic, you might want to get a little closer.
No, I should be using the external.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just talk a little louder. Okay, so Dara is going to take out her rapiers and go after the one that is holding the barmaid,
All right.
and we will hit him. Or not. So, first one, that is going to be a 8.
An 8. You aim right for his shoulder, and he ducks right underneath, and your blade just finds air.
But wait, there's more, because dual wielding, I'll take the second rapier, and that'll be an 18.
18 will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
That is 7 points of slashing damage.
Nice. You all watch as Daria rushes into the tall blonde individual, kind of heavy with his foot on the barmaid. Her first rapier just missing the individual's shoulder. He looks up and kind of growls at you, and then your second shot slashing across his shoulder, a wound opening up, and you can see like a spray of blood just kind of spray out into the room. All right, that'll finish your action. So that means Grayson, you're
Okay,
up.
I don't get my bonus action?
No, this is a free action.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. Okay.
So Grayson,
That
you're
is
up
I.
with your free action, and Somni, you're on deck.
Wonderful. I will look at this new enemy that we have just found. The one specifically that Dara just attacked. I'll take out of my little pouch 2 little lizard skulls that are like covered in metal, and put them in my hands and shake them
Okay.
at him aggressively and just say, "You've made an egregious error." And I would like him to make a wisdom save, please.
Okay. That is a 12.
That is a failure.
Okay.
So I will cast Toll the Dead at this gentleman.
Nice. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Yeah. I
Is
will
it
do
the
such a
same
thing.
one that
2d12.
and it's the same one that Dara is going after? Okay.
Correct. One that's already been damaged. Ooh, this one is super cut. Oh, but much better. 14 points of psychic damage, please.
Nice. You watch
Or not
as
psychic.
the psychic air kind of swirls around this individual, and you see this like reverberating force, and just the bare like signs of blood leaking out of his eyes and ears from the psychic intrusion that just occurred. He's still on his feet. Somni, your free action.
Wait. Is there another person within 5 feet of him?
I would say
Is it Dara?
the barmaid,
Enemy.
the sleeping captor, and another captor behind him. Yes.
Another captor behind him. Okay. I will use my Reaper ability to also target him because he's within 5 feet.
Nice. Does he get a
So
wisdom
second
save?
wisdom save, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be a 9. That will not save.
That's a failure.
So same damage or new
Yeah.
damage?
Nope. Sorry. It's 2d8 because he has not been damaged. So
Gotcha.
we'll find it.
Go
D8.
for it.
There we go. There we go. Ooh. Love to see it. 15.
15. Nice. Good damage
Yeah,
rolls
8 and
there.
a 7.
Hey, hello
Good
there.
damage.
Can we get some of them
I know, I don't
damage
have any
rolls
of
on
those.
the
That's
Isle
good
of
enough.
Dread,
Yeah.
perhaps?
This one gets something above a 1 or 2 on the damage. That one does not.
I love it. All right, so that'll be your free action. Somni, you're up, and you watch as both Daria and Grayson have just gone in on this tall, burly individual hovering over the trussed-up female barmaid. They have done a number on him. He's looking...
Does he look like the leader?
Hard to tell in here. He seems to be the most prominent figure. I'll say your passive will pick up on that. And the fact that he kind of spoke and gave those warnings at the point of you rushing in. Previous session, I didn't recap that. But yeah, you get the vibe. He's probably the brute. He's probably the one in charge of this group.
All right, where am I? Where am I?
You are
Am I the guy with the sword over his head, or the?
right there. You're the paladin-looking figure right in front of the
Oh,
door.
all right then. So Somni will simply take his club out, and you guys, Somni's club is about a 3-foot long shaft of just pure blackened wood, with a red leather grip handle. He takes it out, he swings it a couple times in his hand, and he'll go to bat on the guy the other two just went to bat.
Nice. Go ahead and roll.
Yep. So I will. I am going to. You will hear the sound of cracking skulls in just a moment. We hope. And there it is.
Dara likes those sounds. She's very into that.
Well, the sound of cracking you hear is probably me falling on the ground. That's a 1.
Ooh.
So I'll just leave it there for now. Do I even roll the second one unless I roll a low percentage or something?
Nope. Keep going. You get your 2 attacks.
All right. So the second attack, maybe it'll even out. Yeah, I rolled a 2, so that's better.
Okay, so I'll say your first attack does trigger a reaction from the individual, and he's going to attempt to kick you in the midriff.
Ooh, I'll take it.
And he rolled a 5. Both of you seeming to stumble in and out of each other's reach. Maybe the act of surprise has kind of created this chaotic scene at this point. So now we're going to be at the top of the first round of initiative. Now, Harrow, you're up, and then Dara's on deck.
I shall firebolt this fool who's caused us so much trouble. I roll for my first actual spell attack roll in the game. A d20 is here. If anyone would like to check it, I did that. Are you are you a double person or a roll twice person?
I let you choose.
Yep.
All right, I like to double personally.
Go for it. Roll for damage.
So 2d10
and what's
6. What's that?
nothing? Keep going.
Okay. Total roll was 28, by the way.
Nice.
So 6 plus 5, that is 11 damage times 2 for 20.
Nice. Your three companions watch as this flame just forms in your hand and goes shooting out at this individual standing in the room. It crashes into his chest. You watch as the reptilian armor splits across his chest, and you see a piece of his sternum bone and flesh kind of just break off. He's actually looking kind of rough. I mean, from getting struck and being piled on by everybody. I mean, he literally staggers from the blow of the flame. So have your bonus action and your move. What would you like to do?
I'm going to keep my bonus action in case anybody attacks me,
Okay.
but I will do what I originally planned on and sort of lazily step away a bit.
Okay.
Poke him in the chest, Dara.
As a reaction, the orc off to your right is going to throw a leg chain at you.
Oh my, what, should I roll anything?
That's a 19 to hit. What's your AC?
Well, my AC is 10, and
Okay.
I don't think that anything that I have to react to that would help.
You
So-
have
Excuse me?
you have 4 points of slashing damage, and you are currently pinned in place and cannot move back.
Fool! Ah! Damnable one! What was that? Excuse me.
All right. I lag on Twitch. Okay, no worries. Sorry, I was getting some guidance from my girlfriend on my Twitch.
Oh, I have that spell. Guidance.
So that'll finish Harrow's turn. Dara, you are up, and then Grayson, you're on deck.
All right. Dara sees this meaty little sternum over there, and the fact that Harrow just got some fire going. So she is going to take the edge of her rapier and kind of slice it across part of her arm to activate her Crimson Right.
Okay.
And so she is going to, that's her bonus action, imbues a weapon to strike for 1d6 extra damage of your chosen type, which she has chosen lightning damage.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to add that to the first rapier roll, and that is a 17 to hit.
You watch as your blade skips across his armor harmlessly as you just barely missed him.
Oh no! Okay. That's okay. So I'll take the other rapier. And that is even worse. That is a 15.
Yeah, with this
Apparently I
chaotic-
don't want to hit him right now.
Yeah, with that chaotic swirl around you in this very tight space, both your blows just kind of glancing off of his armor. Still have your move if you want to move, or you can stay in base with him.
No, I would stay trying to engage. She's gonna put herself in the way of other people. She's beefy.
Okay.
And then Dara took 3 points of damage herself.
Okay. Grayson.
But then the extra 1d6 will stay up.
Gotcha.
For until I take a rest.
Okay. Grayson, you are up, and Sumney, you're on deck.
All right. Well, I just saw Harrow over here do a cool thing, so I'm compelled to do something cooler. Because unfortunately, Grayson is a deeply competitive person, so the orcish gentleman that has some chains around my boy's ankle, I still have my spiritual weapon up, so I'll plant a foot and huck it at the orcish gentleman. It's not actually a thrown weapon; it's just a spiritual weapon. But it's
Right.
flavor.
What would you like it to be in the shape of again?
It was a hammer to bash down the door, so it was a hammer. So we'll throw it at orcish man. Oh boy. No, 19. So heat.
19 will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Cool. All right. So, I believe that is plus wisdom. Let me double check. 1 moment, please. Yes. So 9 points of damage on
Nice.
first attack, and I will also hit him with my action. A totally dead. So
Wisdom
wisdom
save.
save, please, sir.
That is a 19 that time. Odd
Okay,
that the
yep,
orc
that
would
passes.
pull that off, but he does.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. It really do be like that.
The psychic
and-
inducement falls across him. Nothing happens. The hammer is in front of him, and you watch it impact right into his chest.
Wonderful. And then for my movement, I'm not sure which one of those little guys is indicative of gray, but I will move over to that one. Cool. I'll move over to where Harrow is with the orc and try to kind of body block.
Thank you.
All right. With that brings us to Somni. Somni, what would you like to do?
Double club smashing action to the dome of Sternum Boy.
Go for it.
All right.
Sternum boy? Aren't we all sternum boys?
Hey, there's
You
a
over there
19.
with the sternum.
There's a
19.
19.
19 will hit.
19 for a total of 6.
Nice.
Yeah. Sir, that's going to be a critical hit.
Nice.
Yes.
Times 2 or roll twice the
Yes.
dice. Up to you.
Well, let's see what I roll. All right. 14 total points.
Nice.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, no. I don't use my modifier for the double, correct?
Correct.
The
just
modifier
the
just
the
goes after the
yeah,
end.
just the dice rolls. So you roll twice or times twice and then add your modifier.
All right, I would like to roll twice because the rolls it automatically chose for me. It didn't let me choose. It just rolled 2 dice and I didn't like it.
Go for it.
So I will just I'm just gonna roll a d4.
Okay.
So here comes that roll. So here's the roll. So that's a 1. So I'm gonna roll again because I'm not gonna double that. So here, another d4. What a ridiculously. There we go. So that's gonna be 10 points of damage.
Nice.
So that's, what is that? Total of 17 coming from the bludgeoning.
Okay.
And that last one, I would like to telekinetically shove. Who is the person standing to? Actually, I'd just like to shove him into the barrel and maybe make him fall down if he's still alive.
Nice. Strength save or strength check? What is it?
DC 16 strength.
That's going to be a 9.
Yeah. So that when you watch, so that last blast, both my hands come up and I'm going to try to disguise it. So should I roll deception or whatever?
Give me sleight of hand.
Yeah, I'm trying to knock
And is
him.
he-
Yeah, boom.
Is he prone from that shove? Or
I'm-
is he just shoved
you can
back?
choose. You get to choose if you think that the table, if I knocked him into the table and the table could knock him down, because it's a 5-foot blast of just you're knocked back.
I would
So
actually
if there's
say
something-
he took your damage from the club. He just took 2 points of bludgeoning damage being knocked into the table and the keg. But the keg and the table kept him from falling down. So he's just like blasted
So
back
he took
into it.
19 total points. Yeah, so he
Correct.
took 19 total points right there.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, he is
And then-
looking bruised, beat up. just like contusions on his face now. He looks very angry as well. But yeah, he is currently looking pretty rough.
I would like to. Where is Dara? Because I think I'd like to just stand on her, basically next to her. Just
You
to
are.
fight side
You
by
and
side.
yeah, you and Dara are right next to each other.
Then that's all I want to do.
Okay.
I'm finished.
Sounds good. Now they are going to go. I need a dex save from you, Harrow, please.
All right, we got a 15 plus. Let's see what we got there. 0 for 15.
Yeah, so that's just enough. You managed to stay on your feet, but you're pulled in the direction of the orc where he drops the chain and then brings his axe down on you.
Ah! I think to myself how horrid this smell is.
Well, I mean, that's not very nice. He can't help it. He may not know.
I don't
Maybe he can't afford a bath.
I'm
So he's going to take both his axe shots at you. Holy mother of! The first one's
My AC 's
11,
10.
and the second one's a 5. The one will hit.
one of those hits.
And you take-
Up that AC.
You take 19 points of slashing damage from the axe as it just
19 points was exactly the HP I have left, so I'm in that saving throws.
Okay. So Harrow, you are down unconscious.
Oh, you know that we took a nap and this is the next morning, right?
Well, I was at 23, back up
Oh,
from
Jesus.
very low.
Good God.
I have 30 total. I was down to like 5 or 6. I got back up to like 19.
From a long.
I mean 23.
Yeah, but you did
From a long rest, though.
you calculated a long rest, right?
Maybe.
It doesn't sound like you did.
No. So we were in a big
I made-
battle, and then we took a nap. So now we're back up to
made
full.
7 HP left.
Okay.
Okay.
Better. Not great. Better.
All right. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I didn't think to do that. 7 HP. That's 7.
I mean, if you want, I could have him hand you a shovel and you can dig your own hole. It's up to you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought about it.
All
We'll
right.
decide against it.
So I'll
A lot
say
of
with
sand.
that,
That's all right.
Dara and Somni, you watch as the big guy in front of you takes a really deep breath at first, and you begin to notice that some of his damage is like closing and kind of like going away. Not all of it, but some of it. And then you watch as this pink red like haze comes over his eyes, and this great like bellowous like roar comes out of his mouth as he charges at both of you in a rage. And that means 2 reckless attacks coming at you, Dara. First one
Do
is
we get?
a
Does he get disadvantage at all because of 2-on-1, or am I misinterpreting what I'm seeing?
nope. You'll get advantage on your strikes against him because he's reckless.
Okay, Raj.
So first one's a 19 and the second one's a 19. On you, Dara.
Unfortunately, those are both going to hit.
Double ones on damage. 7 points of slashing damage and 13 points of slashing damage as you take 24 points of slashing damage.
That's okay.
That'll finish his turn. The others. Here. Here. Make a acrobatics. And that's a fail. He falls prone. There. Right. So the one turns to his buddy who's asleep and starts shaking him to wake him up. That'll be his action. Another one jumps up on a bed and pulls out a short bow. The orc already went. Harrow, one of the other captors is coming at, or one of the other captors is coming at you.
Why?
That's going to be a 9, so I believe that misses.
Ah,
Okay.
Dara,
Barely, though.
another one of the captors is coming after you.
okay.
That's going to be a 9. That's going to miss as well. The one fell prone trying to jump over the fallen keg. The other one.
Oh, I just remembered I could have used a response to stop that 11, but it's okay.
In response.
Grayson, you've got a short bow coming at you. You have half cover. That's going to be a 12, so I think that's going to miss. As you watch,
No.
the arrow goes right by you and kind of like sticks in the wall. That'll finish round 1. We are now at the top of round 2. Harrow, you are up, and then Dara, you're on deck.
Okay, where am I in all of this? I am,
Do you still have that healing potion that
Right there.
did they give us one in the arena or no?
Oh, you guys tell me.
I thought they gave us one each. I don't remember. I could be conflating games.
I can look in my equipment, but I probably will not reach into a bag.
It was
To
not
grab
in
it.
the satchel.
Yeah. Okay. So there's far too many people who are attacking me. I don't like it at all. So I am going to take the withdraw act or disengage. Disengage is what it's called in
Yep.
this.
Mhm.
I'll
Disengage
take the
action.
disengage action to get out back behind that door
Okay.
so I can shoot at them and poke my head around, and hopefully they have to deal with my friends before they get back to me.
The chain is still wrapped around your ankle. The orc had let it go when he pulled you in close quarters.
Okay,
So,
am I able to pull it with me? Like,
yeah, I mean, with your bonus
right.
action, you're pulling it with you as you're moving.
okay, yes. Yes. It's still there, but
Yeah.
I have it now.
Yep. So anything
And
else?
I pass.
And that's right, because you use the disengage action. That's right.
Just
So
don't.
Dara, you are
Swap.
up as you watch Harrow go. You can see the chain bouncing behind him as he goes sprinting out the doorway. And he's like standing there looking in through the door like this.
Nope.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's smart, that's good. And try to finally take this big guy down.
So
if I
he is
can.
he's reckless, so you get advantage.
Well, that is a natural 20 on the first one.
Nice.
So I will take that.
Nice.
Let's see.
Show us that half-orc legendary ferocity.
So that is 7. Let's see, plus. Okay. So that is that's still only just 13 points, unfortunately,
That's
because
still-
I did not roll very well, but that's okay.
No problem. You're finding space to get into like through his armor and into his like ribs and up underneath his arm, and you just and spray of blood coming back in your direction. Second attack with advantage.
Second attack was a 21 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay, that will be 12 points on that one as well.
Nice.
Really?
This
And
rage,
then-
this rage is keeping him on his feet at this point.
Okay, great, because I have an extra attack, so we're gonna try to do it again.
Go for it.
And that is an 18 to hit.
18 will just hit.
All right, and that is 7 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah, just slashing into him, opening up these fresh wounds, watching the crimson spray kind of just cascading out from these wounds. You would say he's looking rough, but it's almost as if these wounds aren't quite having the amount of damage they were having before. This rage that he's in might be why he's taking less damage.
Yeah, that tracks. Some of it was lightning, though.
Firebolt.
And then I'm gonna stay put, kind of snarl frustratingly because he should be dead by now.
Okay.
And then that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, Grayson, you are up. Somni, you're on deck.
Yes, indeed. What is the lighting situation in this room right now?
The globes are still lit, so the magical globes that are used to keep these common rooms going are very much pulsing. There's 4 of them, 1 in each corner of the room, and there's some hallway light coming in from the massive corridor that the giant shaft chamber that goes up and down with the spiral staircase going up and the spiral staircase going down. So there is light coming from there because those stairwells are lit to help you safely get out. And then there's 4 globes in the room that are lighting up the room currently.
Cool. I'm gonna do some real anime shit right now. I will pull out of my bag a coin and flick it up into the air, and as it catches the light, do a nice little hand motion and this thing, and I will cast a guiding bolt into the chest of this orc.
Go for it.
So that's what I'm planning to do. All right.
That's my plan.
That's the thing that I do. 24.
24, that'll definitely hit.
Wonderful.
And he is now lit up like a Christmas tree as this bolt just crashes into him.
Cool.
And he's just now all sparkles and glowy
Yes, he is.
from the effect.
Glorious. This is average roll at best. Below average, actually. 10 points of damage. But the next attack on him has advantage, and guess who's going to use that immediately? It's me. I am going to bonus action spiritual weapon.
Go for it.
Let's try this dice. Another 18 on the die, so 24.
Just barely hits. So yeah, go ahead and roll for damage.
24 barely hits. I have a concern.
I meant the 18.
Okay. I'm like, dear God. Not great. 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
Oh wait. I should crit fish because I had advantage. Nope. A third 18.
That's 3 18s in a row. That's impressive. That's pretty cool. That's very cool.
Otherwise, I will just harry this guy, make sure that he can't go get my very squishy new compatriot.
Okay. So you're good. You're about 5 feet from him at this point, kind of utilizing your spells and the spiritual hammer to kind of like keep him at bay. He's looking at his skin, how he's all lit up, and he's looking at you, and he just kind of growls and smiles at the same time. Somni, you are up.
I'm gonna treat our raging friend like a baby seal, and I'm gonna club him twice.
Go for it. Both with advantage because he is reckless.
Oh, indeed. So the first one, it hits. I'm just gonna roll again just for giggles. All right,
Okay.
so that's gonna be a 24.
That'll hit.
All right, so our buddy can take 8 points.
Okay.
I forgot that when using a single weapon, I actually get +2 to damage if I'm not dual wielding.
Yep.
So I missed that all the way in there. So he's gonna take 8 points there. I will. I'm gonna try and disguise it, Mr. DM, but I'd also like to use my maximum divine smite and roll 2d8 to add to this.
Give me sleight of hand.
All right, and I just try not to have people.
I would like to perceive this. I would like to
21.
perceive this.
21.
21?
Yeah, that'll definitely beat everybody's passive. So at this point, no one will
but you're not
notice.
trying to look for this. Come on.
That is
trying to look
very not true. But go on.
All right. So that'll be 2d8 plus 2 extra because I'm using it at second. And so he will then take 6 more,
Nice.
and then I'm going to smack him again.
Go for it.
Take it. That's not going to do it. 18.
18. That'll hit.
All right. Now I will add my last So that's going to be 8. And then my last of my... Let me see how many spell slots I have just to make sure I'm not cheating again. Yep, this will be it. So I use my second... And these guys don't know that I have spell slots, I hope. So I'm just
I mean,
to...
in combat, passive is the dominant perception. So because you were good with your sleight of hand, at this point, they just think your physical interaction is doing the work.
Right, because I haven't done any spell casting of anything. So that's going to be 6 more total. So add all that up. And
Nice. A series of very dramatic club strikes to both the jaw and the rib cage. You hear a cracking sound and a rasp of breath comes just racing out of his mouth. The jaw is slightly crooked, and you can see part of the jawbone kind of poking out from the skin, but not quite tearing through the skin. He is looking very rough, but very enraged.
I'd like to push him down again if I can.
Okay.
So I think if does he get like the telekinetic shove? 16.
Yeah, that's going to be a 5.
Yeah, so I'm trying to push him over onto the orc behind him. Like, just shove him in that direction. That's what I'm saying. I'm just shoving him in that direction hard as I can with the...
I'll say you managed to shove him directly back, but he made his acrobatics, so he does not trip over the other orc.
I'll follow up on him then. I'll follow and press him. Yeah, so I'll press him, and then that's all I can do. I mean, there's more I could do, but I choose not to.
All right. So at the end of your turn, the orc is going to step into Gray.
Yes, I should probably be slightly more concerned, but I have a very sweet boy sitting next to me right now. And he has a boo-boo ear, and I feel bad for him, but he's a very sweet boy. He probably beat up another cat, as he is wont to do.
Yeah. So that's going to be 2 attacks coming at you, Gray. That's going to be a 26 and 11.
26 does hit me, 11 doesn't hit me, unlike some people.
It's going to be 12 points of slashing damage from the orc axe as it comes right into you. And he is going to...
Nearly half a harrow.
Yeah. He is going to bonus action throw a shiv at you. And that's going to miss as the small piece of metal goes tinking off your armor and onto the ground. Dara, you have 2 at you. So you have 2 of the captors coming at you, Dara. That is going to be a 7 and a 11. Those will both miss.
Sorry.
And Harrow, you have half cover, but you've got a short bow coming at you.
Okay, bring it on.
You watch as the arrow leaves the bow, and as the arrow comes, it just careens and just... I rolled a 2, so oddly enough,
Good.
Not going to hit you.
Surprise!
Yeah, I know, right? Let's see, how's the orc? That guy is still asleep. That guy's down. The other orc is going to use half his move to get up. And be right behind Dara, so he is going to get advantage on his. That is going to be a 23 and a 25 on Dara. Both those will hit.
Yep.
That is going to be 21 points of slashing damage as you just feel this axe bite into your backside. Feel the wounds just begin to open up. Trickle of blood running down your spine.
All right.
And Somni, the big guy, is putting everything he's got left in it 2 reckless attacks coming at you. That's going to be a dirty 20 and a 23. Does that hit? Did I lose Kevin?
What
Nope,
kind
it
of
hits.
question?
I hate it when you do that.
What kind of question? Does a 23 hit?
Right? It's almost like he's just trying to show us up.
Just a question.
But-
It's just a harmless
Yeah, no,
question.
those will both strike Somni.
That is going to be a total of 31 points of slashing damage.
'Tis but a scratch.
We're gonna all have to get right.
A mighty big fucking scratch.
All right. So I
It
believe
hurts. It hurts.
they have all gone. We are now at the top of the 3rd round. Harrow, you are up, and this fight is getting more chaotic. You can see that Dara and Somni are finally taking some injuries. Gray is being pressed by the large orc that you've moved away from. You're now standing in the doorway. Clearly, the individual in the back of the room with the bow standing up on the bed, although this might help. There we go.
A floating battle.
Yeah, it's getting chaotic at this point. Things are. Your surprise on them definitely worked at the beginning, but they're beginning to recover.
Well, I mean, hopefully not too much. I'm going to go ahead and Scorching Ray this big fellow.
Which one? There's
The biggest, nastiest one who has refused to drop after I hit him really hard.
After we all just beat.
go
so-
for it.
3 different 2d6 rays. First one is a 21.
That'll hit.
Second one is a 12.
That'll miss.
Third one is a 25.
So 2 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
4d6. 5. 3. 8 on 1. And 3. 5. Good rolls. 8 on both of them. 16 damage.
16. Somni, as you're squaring off with this guy after that strike back at you, you watch as these 2 beams of light, one hits the ceiling, then 2 more pass right by your ears. You can feel the heat from them, and they coalesce right into the center of the big guy's face, and you see a perfect, like, charcoaled hole. And you can actually look and see the other side of the room directly through this hole that's been burnt through his face as he collapses to the ground.
Good. I'll help him
Enough
on his
of
way
this.
down. I'll help him on his way down with a boot.
Enough of this, I say, as I step back and hide behind my door.
All right, that'll finish your turn. Dara, you are up, and Grayson, you're on deck.
All right. Yeah, Dara's not too happy that she has been beat up on a little bit. So she who just went down? Sorry, could you repeat that?
The big guy.
Big Papa.
The big guy. Okay, that's what I thought. So I guess I will move to the next closest one and get the rapiers out.
Well, you are currently surrounded by 3.
Yep. So I guess I'll just turn my right.
You have your
Why
choice.
Okay. That is a 17 to hit the one to my right.
That'll hit to your right.
Excellent.
The regular guys, that'll definitely hit.
Okay, cool. And that will be, let's see, 11 points plus, that'll be 16 points of slashing damage on him.
Nice. You basically just opened up a belly wound on him, and you could see where part of his intestines is hanging out, and he's kind of staggering.
Great.
He's looking very rough.
I'm going to then plunge my next rapier into his intestines that are falling
Nice.
out. That will be a 19 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
That is 10 points of damage.
Yeah, you follow up and rip open the rest of his insides, and the smell of piss and shit just kind of permeates the room as he collapses dead to the ground.
Excellent. And then I will turn to my left on a blaze of glory, slinging blood with my rapier for a final attack.
Go for it.
That is a 16.
Yeah,
to
you
hit.
watch as you turn and face the giant orc behind you, and your blade kind of like bounces and resists his armor.
That's okay. It was slippery. There's too much blood on it. And I will stay put where I am. That will end my turn.
All right, Grayson, you are up. You just watched Daria skewer and drop one of the captors in the middle. You watched as Harrow just burnt through the skull of the one that was in base with Somni. That leaves an individual in the back right hand of the room, the big orc in front of you, and it looks like maybe 2 or 3 individuals, including a very groggy individual is just now starting to get back up after being woken the previous round.
Okay, so I still have at least 2 targets in front of Dara that I can.
Correct. You're currently in base
What?
with the big orc as well.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about this lovely glass behind me. I will toll the dead, those 2 gentlemen that are harassing this glorious fighter. So wisdom saves, please.
Which one? The one you're in base with or the one off to your left?
The 2 behind me that
Gotcha.
are with Dara.
Do they both need to save?
Yes.
That is a 10 and a 13.
Both fail.
Cool.
And they are already injured, so
Yes, they are.
first guy, not very good. First guy takes 8. Second guy, much better. Takes 18.
Nice. Yeah, you watch.
And then
You watch as the psychic blast concusses between the 2 of them, and they grab their heads from the psychic intrusion. Go ahead.
And then I will bonus action smack this orc with my hammer, or at least attempt to.
Your spiritual hammer.
Yes, my spiritual hammer. Yes. 2.
2.
So
No, you just watch as the spiritual hammer just kind of harmlessly bounces and resists the figure in front of it. Anything else
I do
you'd
a
like to
pivot
do?
with it like it was intentional.
All right, that'll finish Gray's turn. Somni, you are up, and then it's the bad guys.
All right. So if I can't tell, but can I leave and go after the? Actually, this orc.
You are currently not in base since the person that you were in base with just
Yeah.
collapsed at your feet. So you are you are not in base with
Yeah.
anybody right now.
Okay, so how many bad guys are there? Where are they?
There's one to the right in the back of the room. There's 2 near Daria, a third that's about to get up after being woken up from the sleep effect, and you can see an orc engaged with Gray.
Shit. All right, the orc that's engaged with Gray, I'm gonna go Billy Jack on him. That's a 70s movies reference if you don't know. But I'm gonna go Billy Jack on this dude. And I'm gonna smack him up. Let's go. Yeah, behind if I can. Yeah. Yep.
So you'll
The
have
orc that
advantage
currently
because he is in
engaged to
base
Gray
with
is
Gray.
not the
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
orc that Gray would like to be engaged to.
All right. Yes. All right. So I'm gonna. Let's go ahead and just get
Yeah.
after it. Kaboom! That's going to be not. Oh, I get advantage. You said. Thank the Lord.
Yes, because you're flanking.
Yes, indeed. All right. So with that, that'll be a 17.
That'll just miss. As you feel your weapon kind of like bounce off his heavy reptilian armor.
How about I follow that up with a crit?
That'll work.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's a 26 natural. So that is going to be 9, 18. No, 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13 plus 2 makes it a 15. So that's going to be 15 points.
Nice.
And I will not do anything other than stand there and wink at the cleric.
All right, that brings us to the baddies. The orc is going to stay focused on Gray. 2 more axe slashes coming at Gray.
This is the way
that
I would want it,
is
yes.
a 18 and a 23.
Disadvantage?
Why would he have disadvantage?
Just because I yelled it out. Duh.
Dara wants to use her reaction to reduce one of those rolls.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah. Shannon does that in our Sunday game. I thought it would work here.
Disadvantage.
What's your reaction, Dara?
So I have a thing I can do a few times per long rest.
Okay.
It's a blood curse.
Yeah.
When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, you can use your reaction to roll a Hemocraft die and subtract the number rolled from that creature's attack roll. So I'm going to subtract 4 from the 18.
That was 18 to hit, not damage.
Yes.
Oh, so
I'm
you
gonna
roll
make it
from the
not
2 hit, not the damage. So does that so that makes it not be a hit, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. So it only got hit the one time, Gray. And that's going to be 12 points of slashing damage from the orc.
Hey, Zeus.
And that brings us to Harrow. You've got another arrow coming at you.
Duck.
That's going to be an 18. You do have half cover. I think that brings you up to like a 14 or a 15. So it's probably still going to hit.
Yeah.
If it's 16, I can do something about it.
It's half covers -4?
I think, or it adds 40 or AC, I think.
Yeah.
Half cover is +2.
Plus
and
2.
3/4 cover is +5, and full cover is no shot.
That's right. So you get plus, so that's
Okay.
a 12.
It hits.
So that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage as the arrow thunks right into your shoulder.
Why you get it exactly twice now? I drop.
You guys watch as Harrow drops in the doorway.
Ah!
Well, shit.
And that brings us to this guy getting up for half his move. Actually,
I'm sorry I saved Gray and not you, Harrow.
Away with you.
away with you. Away with you, dark, foul temptress. So you've got 2 regular attacks coming at you, Dara. That is a 13 and a 14. Yeah. And then the orc will be bringing 2 axes down on you, 2 attacks. That is a 19 and a 7.
On me again?
Yeah.
Okay, the 19 will hit, the
Okay.
7 will not.
And that'll be 12 points of slashing damage from the orc. That guy went. Archon Grayson went. Those 2 went. Okay. Yep.
How's that
Dara's
going
not
over there?
looking too
How's
good
it going
either.
over there, bud? Okay.
We're now at the top of the 4th round. Things are looking a bit more chaotic. Couple of the opponents are down, but you guys are beginning to breathe a little heavy. The wounds are open. Things are looking a little bit challenging. For all of you around, you can see Harrow lying unconscious in the doorway. All you heard, Gray, was the collapse of someone about 10 or 15 feet behind you. So, Harrow, first death saving throw, please.
5, 1 down.
So, for future reference, because I don't know if I explained this or not, I do a little different with the death saves because reincarnation and bringing people back from the dead is very difficult in this world. That has kind of created this sense of resiliency. So when you roll your death saving throws, you get your con bonus. So you can use your constitution bonus if you have one.
I do not. It
Okay.
remains 5.
Okay, so fail your first death save. That brings us to Dara. You are up, and then Gray, you're on deck.
Finish the damn fight.
Yeah. I mean that's gonna be the attempt. So come swinging at whoever's closest, either the That'll be a dirty 20 to
Okay.
hit.
That'll hit. Well, I mean, you have two weaker opponents to your right, and you have the orc to your left. So which one do you want to attack?
Let me get the bigger one.
Okay. So that'll definitely hit the orc. Go ahead and roll for damage.
That will be 10 plus. That'll be 14 total.
Nice.
5 of that is lightning, if that makes a difference.
Other than the fact that they are very shocked when it happens, not really. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. I'm gonna take the other one. That is the wrong die.
Somni bows his head to his god and says, "Please forgive him."
That will be a 16 to hit on the second attack.
Yeah, you feel your rapier bounce off the armor of the orc.
And the extra attack, that is going to be a 21.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
All right, and that'll just be... Ooh. That is 11 points of damage.
Nice. He's looking rough. You've opened quite a few wounds on him. His resiliency doesn't seem to be matched by the other big guys, so perhaps taking out that guy is advantageous at this point. But yeah, he's still on his feet, but he's starting to look pretty rough. Many wounds are just pouring from your strikes. You want to move?
I'm gonna snarl at him, and no, I'm gonna stay right there, engaging however many people I can.
Gray, you are up.
All right. So this is going to be a very specific order of things. I am going to first attempt to smack the orc with my hammer.
Okay.
Do I have advantage because flanking?
Yes, because Somni's to your left.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's try these ones. Yeah. Another 18, so 24.
Yep, that'll hit. Roll for damage.
Wonderful. All right. 5 damage.
Okay.
There's the Helona damage rolls. I am at this moment at least suspicious of who might have just hit the floor back there, and I'm also aware of Dara getting beat to pieces. So that is my justification for the fact that I'm going to move back, and I know that he'll get an attack of opportunity if he chooses to take it.
That'll be a 16.
No.
Okay, so you move. How far back are you moving?
I'm gonna move back until I reasonably see Harrow in the doorway, and then move to Harrow. Because you're looking rough, but that's worse. No offense.
Just kill them all. I'd have at least one more turn.
Yeah. So I'm specifically doing this because Dan told me to never waste my action on healing in combat. So I'm gonna run over to Harrow and
waste
cast
your
Cure
action
Wounds.
Never waste your action on healing in combat.
Too late. I'm gonna go cast Cure Wounds on Harrow
Okay.
at 3rd level. Deal with it.
Ah!
So all of you watch as Grayson uses spiritual weapon as cover to attack the orc and then pivot off that attack during her bonus action. She races back to the doorway, sees Harrow unconscious, lays her hands onto his shoulders and chest, begins to pour that healing energy into him.
Take those 19 points back, you animal.
Well, that's most of mine.
Harrow, your eyes.
That's almost a full Harrow.
Vanity.
There's one.
Your eyes flare open and big intake of breath as you realize you're prone on the ground with Gray standing over you, putting hands to you and bringing you back to consciousness.
Probably a nasty little dinosaur up on the wall hissing, like, wake up.
Somni.
I'm not going to tell you
It's
how to,
time
like...
for you to get up, Harrow.
I'm not trying to, like, tell you how to live your life or anything, because I think people should be free to make their own choices. But I think you should perhaps spend less of your life on the ground unconscious.
They're still fighting in there.
Yes, yes,
Hero,
there is.
you should get up now and go fight those guys.
The purple dinosaur is like hovering over you, petting you. All right, Somni, you're up. What are you doing? You're still engaged with the orc.
Yeah, I fucking had it with this orc, dude. I'm gonna just beat his ass. That's
for it.
That's what we're doing. We
Do
are going-
it.
2 regular
we're going
attacks.
Yeah. That's gonna be. I'm going to use one of my awesomeness, and I'm going to use. Hold on, I know I have it. It is going to be one of these divine dealies that I haven't used yet. It's a +10, so I'm going to take that +10 and turn this into a 19.
Are you trying to hide what you just did?
Hold on. I have. Oh, I don't have advantage. No, wait. Do I don't have advantage anymore? Correct.
No.
It's not a magical thing. Well, it doesn't like. I don't think it glows or anything. It's just a striking thing, right?
There's certain types of people that are capable of doing this, though. And if you're not being secretive about it, they're free to interpret
Oh, I'm
it.
absolutely trying to be secretive.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
nobody's looking at me. They're all looking in the other direction right now.
I would say your passive would pick up on that, so you get the feeling that doing this is probably okay.
Yeah. So that's gonna be. So he's gonna get smacked. I've got some first level spell slots. It's time to do some damage. Finally, 9, 10, 11 points. Add another D8 to that. D8 plus 1. So that dude's gonna. Yes, finally. That's gonna be no. What did I say? That's 9, 10,
Hey,
11.
Travis, can you do math?
Yeah, that's 20 points of damage. That's gonna be
Nice.
20 points of clubbing damage to
Nice.
his face.
Go ahead and take your second attack.
All right, let's do it again. Let's go. Yes, sir. That's a 19.
That'll hit. Roll for damage.
All right, we're gonna do the same thing. Fucking had it with this cat. That's gonna be 9 plus 9, so 17 points more. So that's 37
That is
that I gave to this
now.
orc.
Now, all of my individuals out there watching and pondering the interesting fact that whenever we play this game, for whatever reason, we lose the ability to math. You could be a PhD in rocket science, and you're suddenly trying to figure out how to add 7 and 8. I don't know what it is about this game or any RPG game.
15, 16,
That
yeah.
that just seems to be the way it goes. But
Yeah, but I had +2 because of the dueling thing. That's what I was adding.
But
Extra.
this is the exact reason why paladins are so much fun. Is at the beginning of their turn, they tend to dump all that damage as fast as they can. But if they keep 1 in the pocket, it means there's a nice little pump of damage that's going to come out later on. So you watch as this orc, I mean, you hear his neck crack and his skull cave in from the strike of your club, and he just crumples to the ground in front of you.
Yeah, well, I softened him up for
Huzzah.
you.
Indeed.
All right. You still have your move and bonus action there, Somni, unless that +10 was your bonus action.
No, it's not a bonus. It's
Okay.
just a
Yeah, you still have your move and your bonus action. You're currently not
alright.
in base with anybody.
Edge sickle and all right. Who is shooting the arrows?
The guy in the very back of the room on the bed. He's currently holding a spear, but he took out a bow.
Is it a goblin? Is it a orc? What
It
is
looks like an Arafenian dressed up in some kind of reptilian armor.
Right.
It's a shame. I speak both goblin and orc.
Yeah, I'm going to go directly behind the person where the spiritual weapon is. So I'm gonna try to. I want it directly behind somebody.
Because these are all
Yeah,
engaged
exactly.
on Dara. So
Is that Dara right there?
This is Dara right here in the middle.
Okay, I want to swing around him and be completely, but yeah, around the thug with the yellow and green. I want to be behind him, so closer to the wall than I am.
This is 30
That-
right here.
Yeah, that's where I want to be. Yeah, I want to be directly behind him.
You're not behind him. You're about 10 feet away from him.
I can't. Is he next to the wall? What is there's no space to the right of that of where I am?
Well, no, from where you
That's
were, to your position, that's 30 feet.
5, 10, 15. Okay, it looks like I went farther than I wanted to go. Like if I wanted to go
Are you
5
going
feet
after
to
this
my
guy right
character's.
here? Or
The
this
guy with the yellow, yeah, him. I was
This
trying
one?
to get directly behind him. Yeah, not the orc. No, that guy. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. There you go.
Yeah,
you are
perfect.
behind him.
That's-
I thought you wanted to go against the big guy, is what you said.
No, I'm trying to dispatch an bonus action telekinetic shove, but using my hands as a sleight of hand. I want to knock him.
15.
All right, yeah, so he failed, so I want to push him into somebody, maybe discombobulate them. Is there a person in front of him that's not Dara, like to his right?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try and knock them into each other.
He failed his acrobatics,
Yeah.
but the other one saved.
Yeah.
He knocked prone, but he is untouched. So the one
That's kind of, yeah.
you knocked him in, he bounces off the other guy and falls on the ground. The other guy kind of feels the hit, but recovers from it and holds his position in front of Dara.
Does Dara get opportunity attack because that guy moved 5 feet?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah, I think if you move against your will, you don't get opportunity anyway.
Correct. Yeah, forced movement.
I forgot how much I miss. Oh wait, I have mute buttons. I do have mute buttons. This is so much better now. Yeah. Your mute sign's not on, you fool.
Oh my. Yeah, but that's okay. So that's what that's all I can do.
Okay, that is going to bring us to the baddies. Yep, Somni, you've got an arrow coming at you.
I'll catch it.
That's going to be a 21.
Yeah.
That's going to
Oh,
be
did you move me
7 points of
outside of
piercing
the
damage as you were focusing on those two guys. You feel an arrow kind of like stick and
Ouch.
find an opening in your armor.
Oh.
Dara, you have 2 of those axe strikes coming at you from the orc. That's going to be a 6 and a 23.
I'm gonna use my reaction thing for the last time I can to reduce.
There we
Oh,
go.
no, actually, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
that's
because
not
it
gonna
because
hit.
Yeah, it's too high.
it would reduce
high.
it to a 19, so don't waste it.
Yeah, so
That's going to be 8 points of slashing damage.
Ooh, Dara is down, except she's not down because
Of her-
relentless endurance. When you are reduced to 0 HP but not killed, you can drop to 1 HP instead once per long rest. So I'm
Right.
at 1.
So you
Got it.
you feel your vision kind of blur momentarily, and you begin to like drift like you're falling, and then you take a deep breath. You just get that grunt going, and you manage to stay on your feet. And the orc that you're fighting doesn't seem all that surprised, and you realize he hasn't done that yet. So there's a good chance he has that ability as well. And then you have a regular attack coming from you from behind.
Ooh, at disadvantage. I'm just saying.
That'll be a 13. That'll miss. You feel like a heavy club or truncheon kind of bounce off your armor from behind. That guy went. Those guys went. Yeah, I mean, I'm running out of guy. Oh, you shoved that one guy, so it's half his move to get up. So he will take a shot at you. That'll be a 9. He kind of staggers up to his feet, sees you, launches himself at you, and you just feel the club kind of bounce off your armor as he couldn't quite find purchase to be able to attack you. That'll take us to the top of the 5th round. Harrow,
Jesus.
you are now conscious. You're prone on the ground. Grayson's standing there right next to you. What would you like to do?
Seeing that we're still mid-combat, probably a little bit rudely, like, shove Grayson away to blast out another firebolt.
Okay, go for it. Are you standing up or staying on the ground?
I'll stand up.
Okay.
And 13 plus 8, 21 to hit.
And who are you bolting again?
Let's do this gentle person that Somni is aiming for.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for damage.
All right. 2 plus 10, 11.
Okay. Somni, you watch as a familiar streak of light just bolts and crashes into the figure that you're faced off with. He kind of rebounds from it. Still on his feet, but definitely took some damage from it.
And if I have half my movement left, I'm going to do what I kind of intended before, but didn't specify well enough, so I accept all the damage that I was given. But then I want to, like, shuffle back to get full cover behind the door edge.
Yeah, because the last time you told me you were, like, peeking your head out.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, shuffle back behind the door, but, yeah, it's okay. I didn't specify.
All right, Harold, I'll finish your turn. Dara, you are up with 1 hit point left.
Hey, 1 is enough. So with this last hit point, I'm gonna muster my strength and go swinging my rapier at the closest guy. That is a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
Yeah. So 6 slashing and 5 lightning.
All right. And you're going after the smaller guy in front of you or the orc?
The orc.
The orc? Okay. He's still on his feet, but he's looking really, really rough. He's looking really rough.
Got 2 more coming. That is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit. And he's only got 1 hit point left. So you watch as your second strike nearly knocks him unconscious, but he manages to keep from falling over, and he stumbles back to his feet in front of you. So go ahead and take your third attack.
Well, in that case, yeah, we are going to do a 17 on the last one.
That'll miss. You watch as your
It'll miss, okay.
Yeah, you watch as your weapon kind of bounces off as he kind of like both of his arms up like this and thrusts your weapon away. Yeah, that'll finish your turn, or do you want to move?
No, I'll stay right there. It's
Okay.
like the battle of the 1 HP over
Yeah,
here.
pretty much. Grayson, you are up, and then Sumney, you're on deck.
I will, as I run past Harrow, act like I'm gonna give him a shove, but just give him a pat. Because he gave me a shove and just give him a
Do you
Good
like
job,
do you like good game, buddy? Good game?
yeah.
Good game, nice house to see out there.
And obviously I'm gonna recklessly run back in there.
Yeah.
On my way in, I am going to repeat the process told the dead the orc who looks horrendous, not the good orc, the bad one that looks horrendous, and him's friend that's within 5 feet of him.
Okay.
Dara looks lovely. I don't know.
Nora looks lovely. I
Thank
know, that's
you.
what I'm saying.
He's a delightful half orc.
Rolled a natural 20 for his wisdom save.
On which one?
On the orc. And on his compatriot, I rolled a 15.
Okay, they both succeed. Cool. Cool. Well, I have a mace.
Smack 'em.
I have a mace. But I believe that I would have to take the attack action to
Correct.
be able to.
You still have your bonus action with your spiritual weapon. It can move 20 feet.
Right. I have not cast a concentration spell. I was thinking about doing it, but I didn't do it. So instead, I will still run back in there to try to get people off of Dara
Okay.
and smack the orc with my spiritual weapon. Or at least attempt to.
All right. Go ahead and roll the hit.
All right. Let's try this one. 23.
That'll hit. Roll for damage. I mean, he's got 1 hit point left.
He only has the 1 hit point. I'll roll anyway for fun.
That's right.
Of course it was an 8. Of course it was an 8. Why would it not be an 8?
That's why I wanted you to roll, you know.
The one time. The one time. The one time.
So with that,
Anyway.
Dara, you watch as this like translucent hammer flows and floats right over by you, and then just cracks that orc right upside the head, expending his last ounce of life as he collapses to the ground.
A question. So, I believe Dara's that person in the middle, right? And there's somebody behind her. Yeah, that's Dara, and there's somebody behind her.
This is Dara.
Yeah,
and
there's a
this is-
thug.
I would love to try to just interpose.
Intercourse.
Just shove. Just do a shove. Yeah, just a beep beep. No
All right.
offense.
All right. Somni, you are up. You've got Grayson to your left. You've got one of the captors in front of you, and you just watched as the floating spiritual hammer dropped one of the orcs to just crumpled to the ground. One other captor is flanking Dara, and then the third individual against the very back with the short bow.
So there's still 3 bad guys left?
Correct.
Well, shit.
Right?
It's a rough fight.
Is Dara within touching range of Somni?
You're
touch her?
you're like
What was the weirdest way you could have possibly asked that question?
you're about 10
With
feet away. You're about 10 feet away.
I want to touch Dara.
Now, this is going to be hard to conceal. She's going to feel whatever you're trying to do.
Let her have it, man.
All right.
And I just say, renew. And you have 25 more hit points.
Oh.
I didn't hide it. There's no way to hide it at this point. I just had to be done.
I mean, witnesses that you're trying to conceal from are mostly dead.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to conceal it from you guys too. Like seriously, like you don't. The only thing you have now noticed is that Dara all of a sudden looks.
I mean, you can
healthier
watch.
after
Yeah,
I
you
touched
watch
her.
as
you
like
speak in my
the huge
Well, that's only
wound,
you, bud.
the huge wound on Dara's like chin and neck just kind of sutures itself and closes. Abrasions and cuts on her arms begin to close. You feel a rib, Dara, move back into place.
Also, false. You used lay on hands on me in that first fight, so I also noticed.
Well,
this,
but
so I'm keeping
that
an eye
already
out.
piqued your interest, though. So.
You just keep saying that I'm not looking, but I'm definitely looking. Anyway.
Do you lift Somni's skirt? Take a peek.
She gets disadvantage on attacks because she's looking at Somni while she's punching other people in the face.
All right, that'll finish your turn, Somni. That takes us to the 3 remaining baddies. I've got one coming at you, Grayson.
Ooh.
That's a 14. You're muted, so I couldn't hear you.
No.
I got one coming at you, Dara. That's going to be a 14.
Nope.
Okay, and then I've got a arrow coming at you, Somni. That's a 17.
That'll hit.
And that's 5 points of piercing damage.
I'll take it.
It's starting to look a little bit like a pincushion. That takes us to the top of the 6th round. Harrow, you are up. It sounds like things aren't quite as chaotic inside anymore. You can hear your friends more than you can hear the bad guys or the baddies.
Okay, I'm going to peek back around.
Okay.
Are the baddies clumped in a way where they could be stuck inside a sleepy time zone? I can't quite tell from here.
Yes, I would be okay with that. They're still clumped. 2 of them are clumped in the middle. One is way in the back of the room.
All right. Well, we are going to use another level 1 spell slot to drop some sleepy time on them for 5d8.
Okay.
And this time, the roll is 23 hit points. I'm hoping at least one of them is below that.
Nice.
I'll say one drops again.
And I will step back behind my door, fully covered with full cover.
All right. Finishes your turn, Harrow. Those of you in the room, you watch as there's a shadow behind you, and then one of the individuals in the center of the room just crumples asleep at your feet, especially you, Grayson. He's standing there and then suddenly just asleep at your feet. Dara, you are up, and Grayson, you're on deck.
Cool. We're gonna keep hitting them. Maybe not. That is a 15 to hit.
15 will just hit those guys.
All right.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
That will be 12 points for the first hit.
Nice. He is looking very rough.
That is a 2 on the die for the next one, so I don't think that's going to be hit.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, when he takes that first blow, it knocks him out of the way of your second blow.
Oh, God. Okay, that's going in dice jail. That is a 1.
Yeah, you both times. He's actually going to use your stumble to take a reactionary attack on you.
Dara, stop hitting people so hard. You hit them too hard.
Sorry.
That's a 15.
Can't help it,
Can I-
I'm just too strong.
Can I use my
15?
reaction to interpose? Because I'm interposing.
Does a
She's
15
an interposer.
Does a 15 hit, Dar?
15 will just hit.
Okay.
Destroy the interposer.
That's 9 points of bludgeoning damage from the club.
Nobody expects the Spanish interposition.
Was Gray doing a thing? Or
She was
Gray's certainly trying.
Gray was
Gray's
trying.
Everybody's been allowed to do
Okay.
really cool things with their reactions that aren't usually allowed with a reaction, and Gray's gunning for it. Come on.
You're supposed to yell disadvantage and then.
yeah,
Disadvantage!
All right, anything else you want to do, Dara?
Nah, I'll stay chilling right there.
Okay. Gray, you are up, and then Somni, you're on deck.
Gray can feel the fourth wall closing in upon them, so they'll calm down their sass. I will use my free action to tuck this guy in who's taking a nap. There, bud.
Do you touch him?
And,
Do you touch him?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
He goes, "No, no,
This was
little
what
man."
I like to call a joke, satire.
I want to make sure that I don't interfere
Yes,
with your
no,
creativity.
I see the target that my friend has just put to sleep, and I wake him up immediately because I'm a dick. So the remaining standing enemy, we're gonna repeat process. Hold it in.
All right, wisdom save.
Yes, please.
So go ahead and roll damage. This is going to be fun.
This I don't like it when my DM says this is going to be fun. It usually isn't fun for me.
You'll appreciate this.
10.
And so, in Gray's standing there, realizing that with this one asleep and this one standing right there, Gray pours everything in to that Toll the Dead. Maybe overdoing it a bit as you watch the head crumple like an aluminum can. And then it just collapses to the ground.
Bye.
Nice.
Good enough.
Well, I rolled a natural 1 for
Satisfactory.
the save, so I was, and he only had 2 hit points left, so I thought that was kind of fun with Toll the Dead. I love that spell. So that
none of
leaves the
his
one
friends
guy in the
were
very
to him.
back
Yeah.
of the room.
All right, wonderful. I will send my spiritual weapon at him ahead of me.
Okay.
I don't think that it'll have enough movement, but okay. And I will also stalk my way while you're still standing up. I'll stalk my way
Okay.
across the room And I will say to our good friend over here, you don't appear to have the numbers anymore. And I don't know if you caught what just happened to that guy's head. Would we like to have a civil conversation, or
Give me
should
intimidation.
we just do that?
Give me intimidation check.
Cool. Let's try this one. Natural 20 for a 23.
Nice. He immediately tosses his weapons to the ground and places his hands on his head like this. And please, just following orders. Don't kill me. I'm only just following orders.
From...
And with that, his eyes shift away from you. And there, standing in the center of the room, is the barmaid that was trussed up. She is now free. She has plunged a small dagger into the neck of the sleeping guard, turns, and throws it into the face of the one standing in front of you. And then she looks at all of you with her hands on her hips and goes, well, she was right. You all do know your way around a battlefield. Shall we have a conversation?
I poke my head in. Did you just kill our two? We could have interrogated them.
Oh, no need for that. They work for me.
Oh.
I
well.
definitely think we need a chat. Why would you kill your men?
Oh dear, that was but a test.
They had to die for your test?
Well,
We were the
better
ones
them
who
than
were
you.
supposed to die.
Why did anybody have to die?
Oh dear, life is cheap. Strategy and abilities have more value. Won't you say, dear? And then, Harrow, you feel this hand slide across your shoulder, stepping out of invisibility. Somni, you feel this telepathic burp in your head. Don't mention who I am. Just play along. As you watch Pharaoh step into the room, not wearing her master armor that she was wearing before. She's more in like casual reptilian skinned garb, a red purplish cloak flowing behind her. She's got a tankard in one hand and a truncheon of meat of some kind in the other hand. She like pulls it off. She goes, well, I told you they were good. I put 15 coins on them in the match. And the other female looks, yes, they're good. A little slow. And your friend there, the one with the ability to heal, perhaps we should teach him how to better manage that. So please, sit. Let's talk.
Awful.
Anywhere less pungent that we might be able to have a civilized conversation?
The smaller female dressed in the barmaid's clothes with very simple brown hair and simple look about her, sits on one of the dead bodies. No, this will do fine. Before we go any further, may I please introduce young Master Arthesian Avastos, the youngest daughter of House Avastos of the Citizen Ward. She was very insistent on meeting you after your little thrilling work in the citizenship arena. So please, do be cautious.
DM?
Mhm.
SP question mark?
How do
Yeah.
you spell this person's name?
It's Avisium, Aviseum, and her last name is Avastos, is Avhoste, and she is one of the younger members of the Avastos family, who is headed by Chalan Avastos, who manages the family and the mage and her portion of the mage seat is in charge of the citizen ward.
And this was which of the two of them? The taller or smaller?
The barmaid.
Is Fancy Lad.
Say that again.
Barmaid is fancy lad or barmaid is not fancy lad?
The barmaid is the younger of the Avastos. So yes, she
Is
is.
fancy lad,
Yeah,
got it.
she's the.
Other one is Drake person.
The other one is Pharaoh, the one that introduced herself as Pharaoh before.
As we're still in intense music. Yeah. Gonna be such a conversation.
Oh, I paused the wrong one.
We're talking intently and quickly and swiftly.
So,
You wouldn't
who is-
believe the exposition I'm about to do.
Who is Shalyn Everholt then? If Avastos, I thought the Everholts were the Citizens Ward people.
Well, there's 5 different families. The
Oh,
Avastos.
5 different ones in the Citizens Ward.
No,
Okay.
there's no. The entire city has 5 different families. This,
Okay.
the Avasto family is in charge of the Citizen Ward. And it's Shalana Avasto, which is the High Mage of the Citizen Ward, who's the head of the family. This individual, who was once disguised as a barmaid, has introduced herself as the young Avasto, one of the younger siblings.
Got it. I had the wrong last name. I had Everholt, not Avasto, written down.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I had it spelled as Aberhost.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if we could get some clarification on those notes later.
Yes.
Because there was a
Yep.
lot of families very fast.
It was. And I have it organized. We could just, before next session, we'll go through it. That way it's fresh in your minds. So the Pharaoh walks by you, Harrow, her hand dragging across your shoulders and kind of playfully playing with your earlobe. She walks away from you towards the center of the room, kind of leans up against the wall, directs her attention towards the young Avastos in the center of the room. She is now taken a seating position on one of the corpses and is looking at all of you, and she goes, "Well, I imagine all of you have questions. Let's start with your questions first, and then I have questions for you, and then perhaps we could do each other a favor." Yes, Gray. What could I do for you?
Yeah, that's me. First question, Dara, are you okay?
Been better, but I'm all right thanks to Somni.
Okay. I rescind my question. Go on.
I have a question.
Yes, Harrow. What is your question?
I assume that a test has a positive and negative outcome. I have my own suspicions, but to confirm them, have we passed yours?
One of many, yes. This one you were quite successful at because you're not dead, so that kind of puts you at the head of the class for now.
May I have another?
Another test? Sure, I could dole
Another
one out.
dead?
Oh, another question.
Another question, if you would.
Certainly.
Yes. Does your family have some level of supervision over who is allowed to practice and study magecraft in this city?
We have limited access to some of this information within our own family libraries. The High Mage, Braybren, controls access and allowances to the main library in the very center of the ward that he is in charge of. However, perhaps once we have become more than just mutual acquaintances, you can have access to our library. Perhaps maybe that might entice you to accept my offer.
Then I rescind all of my further questions until I've heard this offer, if anybody else has any.
Any? So, first let me say, it's an expensive test, but I think one worth doing. They will be missed. They were not cheap. But I can assure you, no harm will become you. These are my people. They were acting under my orders. And before I move on further, young Master Somni, Your kind is often not welcome here. I don't have a particular aversion that my mother has towards religion or understanding of the gods. I don't give a shit. I care about maintaining power where power belongs. And
A materialist, I approve.
not quite a materialist, more of a opportunist. I don't really care about material wealth either, as you can see. I've spent quite a bit of coin here just in making sure that what I saw in the arena wasn't something to fool the eye. Pharaoh here seems to find you much more capable than I originally thought. However, that being as it may, there are things moving now that will hearken to challenges that I do not believe this city can survive. I am not sure what kind of insanity plagues Master Brayburn, but some of his recent decisions has me pondering what is truly going on. You hear Pharaoh kind of belch out as she swallows a big chunk of meat. She swallows it and goes, hardly disconcerting, mistress. He's insane. I know how you feel, Pharaoh. I understand. It's not important right now. There is a place in the old citizen ward. Well, let me go back maybe a few thousand years. This city did not always look as it looks now. It was once a city combined and not suffering from the catastrophe that befell it. Recently, some of my excavators near the south end of the citizen ward, near an old junction that's been condemned for quite some time, we had made plans to possibly convert it into a resource point or possibly another area that we could start gathering individuals and turn it into a residential section. But while digging and excavating that area, we found a section of the old collapsed city undisturbed and, well, unmolested, as they say. We found some interesting statuary. We found some other interesting artifacts that have not been seen for some time, and we keep them under lock and key. I have sent maybe 3 or 4 expeditions further down. None have returned. I feel that before I spend more wealth on this effort, I thought finding specialists would be, well, a better decision to make. Yes, Gray?
Question. So, a lot of the way that people are spoken of and about in this environment kind of makes me question which of the inhabitants of this place are pack beasts. Can't tell if it's the giant lizards or the people.
Mm-hmm.
So that one back there, and I'll point to the guy that has the knife in his head. Speaking of resources, are you done with that?
The dagger or the person?
Well, both.
Well, not the dagger. Certainly, that's one of my favorites. I plan on taking it back. I mean, do you dabble in the dead? Is that what you do?
Let's just find out. Carry on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll
I mean,
go to the
by all
back-
means,
back corner.
as recompense for any harm I might have done to you, feel free to do as you would with any of the corpses in this room. They are going to go to the raptor piles anyways, so absolutely. In fact, I
Seems
find it.
terribly wasteful.
Well, no, the raptor piles. Do you not know what the raptor piles do? Pharaoh goes, Mistress, they've only been here a few days. They just took the test of citizenship. Ah, yes, that's true. I often think everybody's been here forever, but anyways, the raptor piles are where we send the dead to be turned into a sort of fertilizer that we send to the farm ward, and then the farm ward uses it to feed the warrens, and the warrens provide food for the city. So expensive, yes, if it's wasted, but their remains are reused and redeposited, and food grows, and the food feeds us. We may be butchers, but we're fat butchers. We know what we're doing.
Since we
Has-
have permission, I'm going to nudge Gristler to go fly down and get a couple of bites, since the bodies are open game.
Okay.
As she's saying this, I'm just
I need a
giving
couple
her-
seconds.
As she's saying this and just explaining this stuff about the raptor piles, I'm just giving her
Okay.
and I'm dragging the body off of whatever it was laying upon.
Yeah, it would have slumped against the bed behind you, or behind where the person was before.
Taking the dagger out of his head and cutting his arm and getting some blood and just and drawing circles and wiping the dagger off and throwing it back to her and not really paying attention to anything that's going on.
Okay. So, like I said before, Ray, you must inform me later on what it is you're doing. That's very intriguing. I've never seen
Give
one.
it about 54 more seconds.
Okay, I've never seen anyone play with their food before, but okay. Anyways, as I was saying, there is this area that we discovered. I have sent many expeditions to examine it, bring back more information. There was one particular artifact that we found at the entrance of this excavation site that we found enlightening, as they say. Some of my more interesting scholars have examined it, gave me their thoughts, and if it's true, I need a group of very expert, specialized individuals, such as yourselves, to go down into this site, find out what is there, and bring me back anything of value. Now, you do this for me, young Harrow, you will have full access to the family library, as well as your accommodations will be bumped up from the Iron Spike to the personal grounds of my family for all of you. For you, for the rest of you, obviously a fee in whatever you find is doable as well. You can always let me know at your leisure what you like, whether it be coin, flesh, or weapons or armor. Merely let me know, and I shall provide. For those of you of the arcanic in nature, there are things I can provide for you as well, depending on how successful you are. And I am not here to fool you. Those individuals that I have sent down into that space, a couple of them were for my personal guard. I had hoped that they would do better than most. They have not returned either. And those two I would put on equal to the 3 that you matched here. Now, that I know that you could beat 3 of my personal guard, I have high hopes for the lot of you. Now, that being said, I will be, and she kind of glances over at Pharaoh, and Pharaoh nudges like insistently on completing the sentence. Yes, Harrow, what can I do for you before I fill you in?
I'm aware it was looking like I was raising my hand, but I was actually just resting my arm up here.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Fair enough. We'll say you're resting.
Hero does not raise his hand.
Okay. Pharaoh kind of nudges insistently back in the direction of the young Avaste. Well, let me put it to you this way. You've survived the test. But as soon as you are seen leaving the Iron Spike and making your way onto my family grounds, the assumption is that you will have picked a side. Picking sides in this city is very dangerous. You could wake up with a dagger in the back, poison broth pouring out of your mouth, or simply disappear and turning up as raptor food. So, do not make your decision lightly. But realize that these offers do not come that often. My people will be by to pick up the remains of the corpses. Pharaoh will see to that. If you choose to join in this little excursion into these old city warrens that I've discovered, I will be forever grateful. Now, the rest of my family's a bit weird. And when I mean weird, I mean fucking weird. I, however, find myself hoping to position myself in a way that I could run the family sooner rather than later. I'm trusting you with this knowledge in hopes that it will influence your decision. But know this, once you've made this choice, you are making it of your own volition. If you choose not to join me and my family in this excursion, I will understand. There will be many other families, I'm sure, vying for your assistance in whatever plots or plans they are having. Because know this, the whole purpose. And Farrell goes to interrupt her, and she puts her hand up and goes, "No, Farrell, you're right. They should know the whole truth. I will let you in on the understanding of the so-called citizenship fight. It is complete bullshit. We do not care if you've become citizens. We could hardly care less. You are mere pawns for the families to decide whether or not you have value. Because you survived, and because you still continue to survive even onto day 2, you have value. And you have value to those that scheme, plot, and, well, you may even wonder now how much truth I am really telling you. Good. That thought in mind. The families here have total power over this city. Imagine a mere 100 in control of tens of thousands that exist, work, some flourish, some don't, in a city meant wholly to grind you down to meat, to be put on top of the heap in the farm ward, and to feed the next population that comes into play. So make no mistake, if you don't choose me, and you don't choose any family to side with, your days here will be most certainly numbered. I tell you this because I am quite honest in my assessment. The skills that you showed in this room for a group that has hardly known each other for the betterment of maybe 8 or 9 days, during the purification trials, the battle at the arena, and the couple days, the first day you were here, and the start of your second day. Well, I'm impressed. And that's not easy to do with someone like me. So, before I leave, one last opportunity to ask me any questions. Otherwise, I will leave Pharaoh here to take care of it. Yes, Gray, what can I do for you?
What was his name?
Who?
I'll indicate the body.
She looks at the body and looks to you, then looks at Pharaoh. Pharaoh kind of shrugs. Oh, I don't know. I think you killed the only people that knew his name. Oh dear. You're going to struggle here if you worry about names.
I think names are rather important. And I will reach in, like trying to dig my fingers in to grab his sternum and pull up and finish casting Raise Dead, so now I have a skeleton friend.
Give me a charisma save, please.
$15? Oh, sorry, no, I add to that.
Yes.
18.
18. You feel this incredible amount of psychic pressure weigh in on you as you cast this spell. Everybody is watching you raise this skeleton out of its flesh and up off of the ground. The skeleton comes into existence, but instead of turning towards you, it turns towards the young Avost, the young Avoste. And you hear this darkened, disembodied voice. Mistress, Do I have your permission? And the skeleton's eyes glowing with the magic that you've incarnated into it. Avaste looks from you to the skeleton. She crosses her arms and she goes, "Oh my. This is going to be an interesting week for sure. Oh, dear friend, yes. Shh, you are all hers. Feel free. Do what you want." And the skeleton
You
turns.
have a hold on them even in death.
The skeleton turns away and looks at you. I have been given to you. And just stands there.
I'm flattered, I think. We'll work on the details later. Do you remember your name?
I don't think it matters, but my name was Thomas.
Thomas, lovely to meet you. You're pretty good with a bow, yeah?
Evidently not.
I think you were pretty decent. I think your
It's a sassy skeleton.
was just cut short a little bit. But we're going to extend it for at least another 24 hours. So
Oh,
nice to meet you, Thomas.
okay.
I'm going to go to collect his bow.
And you hear Thomas, all of you like fixated on this. Thomas just kind of mutters to himself, "I thought death would be the answer to my punishment." And just kind of whispers it under his breath. And he kind of wanders off and just stands aimlessly in the corner of the room.
Arrow's deeply intrigued.
The young Avoste looks over at Pharaoh, nods her head, and goes, "Oh, you may be right about this group. Well, Pharaoh, I leave you to it." He goes, "Ta-ta. Have a nice rest of your..." Yes? Pharaoh?
I do have one more, I'm afraid. I hate to be rude.
Are you the one in the front of the class when everyone else sits at the back?
Where else to catch the weak spot on my teacher if I wish to advance?
Honesty in the heresy. I like that. What can I do for you?
If I should align myself with you and take on all of the benefits and dangers therein, as is obvious as I look about the corpses and our new skeleton friend Thomas, which enemies am I making?
Well, you're free to make any enemy you'd like. That's the beauty of being here.
Yes, but I will be assumed to have chosen a side, to borrow your words.
Or
And
they may
side
assume that you're
by
working for
standing.
someone else. You've falsely chosen my side so that you can stab me and blah, blah, blah. Look, the politics of my enemy is my opportunity. Whether or not they think you are on my side or not is kind of irrelevant. Just know that they have thought you've picked a side, if that makes more sense.
Very well. I would like, as one small additional aspect to my fee for service,
Yes.
that for the time being, I am disavowed to continue to confuse those who may seek your downfall.
Very well. I find that request interesting, or statement. Is it a request or a statement? I'm not really sure.
A request. I am but a humble servant, after all.
Oh, you are adorbs. And she boops you on the nose, and there's an arcanic slash
goes.
as she steps through a dimension door and disappears.
All right.
Pharaoh's like, wow, you all know how to make an entrance. I mean, I sent you here thinking that they might take an interest in you, but the Avaste family is an interesting choice if you decide to make it. I made the choice myself many years ago, and I found their pay and their recompense and their reward for those that remain loyal to their family. Somni, you're the only one that catches the wink in your direction. They seem to do well. I think they have ambition. This young Avaste, he has quite a lot of ambition.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think that the only thing that we really need to figure out here, friends, and just look around at everybody, is how we make sure we stay like that and don't end up like Thomas. No offense, Thomas.
No offense taken.
Pharaoh, I don't suppose you have any advice on remaining enfleshed.
Well, don't die. It's always a good start. Don't pass out drunk on the Citizen Ward streets because the raptor collectors will just merely throw you into the container. Make sure that when you pay for anything, the individual is looking you directly in the eye. If you do enjoy or wish to have a good time that is somewhat safe, I would recommend the Fungus. It's quite the interesting establishment. Most of the shops in the Citizen Ward can be trusted to a certain extent. The other families don't find it very important to cast their influence out here. They feel that the Citizen Ward is merely the fifth ring of the other four that are better, if you catch my meaning. They would consider their politics here slumming it, I believe, would be a better way of describing their ambition in the Citizen Ward, which, to a certain degree, leaves the Avaste family mostly unperturbed and free to do whatever they want. And they are quite fucking wealthy.
You're saying that by casting in my lot with them, we are potentially beneath the notice of our most dangerous potential foes.
I have gone unnoticed for the better part of my journey since I got here. I participate in what I think does me well. I keep an eye out for certain individuals in case they need to have my discussions with them. I don't go out of my way to get noticed. And being out here has allowed me to watch and learn and be aware. The Voste family, well, like the young Voste said, her family's a little bit crazy. That might be why they've been relegated to the control of the Citizen Ward. But it's safe. The moves against her are somewhat lessened with me around, and I do get to, once a year, fly the cool Drake and watch over the arena fights, and that's pretty badass because the Citizen Ward manages the arena fights. Yes, Gray.
Not Gray this time, me.
Yes, Shannon.
Is she giving us sound advice, or is she telling us to go find batteries to the sound-powered telephone?
Give me an insight check.
Is she trying to make us look dumb? Okay.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
18.
18. Her glibness and sarcasm and honesty all seem equally true. You get the feeling that mixed in there is some hard truth and possibly some I really don't give a shit.
I'll take some I don't really give a shit over bold-faced lying.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how the rest of you feel about this offer, and my fortunes are tied to the rest of you for the time being. And I specifically look at Somni when I say that. So I will respect the will of the group. However, I am in favor of this bargain if the rest of you are.
I think we need to align ourselves with, in a position such as this. I think this puts us in a position to further ourselves as well as maybe gain some benefits.
Somni, Grayson, what say you?
Somni?
we will flow, and we will learn our way in Titan's Fall. For whatever reasons you are here, I have my own. But for now, this furthers what I am here to do.
Elf.
Me?
Elf.
You just
Yes.
you just recognized the fact that I have a name and used it, and then you point.
Oh
to
my God, Dan,
Right.
you are so good at the Shannon trigger. I love it.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes.
Harrow is, of course, unreadable behind his mask, but
Yes, indeed.
he moves his arms in a manner that seems to suggest, what? You expect better from me?
I mean, I shoveled you off the floor, but okay. Anyway, sure, this seems like a fine deal. I feel like we might be aligning ourselves to be, you know how when you build a wall, or you're trying to build a wall, and there's a tree over here, and it's really small when you start building the wall, but as you continue to build the wall, the tree grows, and its roots spread beneath your wall, and we slowly just kind of tear it up. I feel like we're being
By the
root-
way, all three of you are going. All three of you are like, "What's a tree?"
Oh, I was going.
No,
Yeah, they're like,
I'm
"What's a
actually literally
tree?"
talking to Harrow.
What is a
I'm
tree?
actually telepathically telling Harrow, elves are a little finicky.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I've never seen a wall before Titan's Fall. My people were nomads, and a what?
And
Okay, and-
what is a tree? Does that grow? Like what?
I'm doing this metaphor, and I notice the utter blank
Yeah,
confusion,
they're just like,
and
even Pharaoh's
Okay.
like,
Somehow I radiate confusion behind the big bird mask.
yes. Okay. Is it the wall part or the tree part? Because a tree is kind of like this, and I'll druid craft a little, branch.
Somebody
Okay.
just looks at you and
But
says,
big.
all of it. And I go and sit down at a table. I'll up if one of them's knocked down.
yeah,
I'll
you
fix
upright
it.
a table, you upright the chair,
Yeah.
and you kind of turn
Yeah.
it in front of you so you can pay attention to what she's saying.
I've
But
got 7 hit points left. So I'm sitting at this table like, what the fuck am I doing listening to this while I'm all beat to hell? Like, I'm literally wounded and beat, and I'm going to go and have a drink.
Yeah.
I look, though, and I'm like, is that vegetation?
Good. Okay, so you aren't lost on this part of my apparently very complicated metaphor.
I'm aware of it academically, but I've never seen any.
Okay. Okay, well, I can just keep doing this. I can just do this all day and just make flowers for the next, minute solid.
yes, but Gray,
I'm going
most
to take
people
a
don't
sample
even
of
know
that.
what those are.
Well, okay, I have a new goal. I'm going to teach you guys what flowers are.
Well,
Oh, also, I'm gonna make Thomas a flower crown.
if your
suddenly
goal is to
seems
stand
important.
out and to become a target, you are doing a very good job of it.
Is that a good way to
Dara kind of
target
wants
it?
a flower crown.
I've read that these possess nutritional value. Is that accurate?
I mean, they can also poison you. It kind of depends on the.
What
Ooh.
sort did you make?
Pharaoh goes, poison?
Uh,
Can you make the poison
yes.
kind?
Yeah. Make
Oh,
poison
we
ivy?
must talk later. Somni,
That one mostly just makes you really itchy.
would you walk with me for a moment, please, while your friends and their new skeleton friend, who's been fitted with a flower crown, perhaps cleans up this mess?
Indeed.
And she kind of like, at the minute she puts her hand on your shoulder to kind of turn you like up out of the chair and through the shattered door, you get 26 hit points back.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm walking with her now.
Okay. And the two of you make your way out of the door. You can hear them kind of rustling and making noise. And she goes, "Oh, I forgot one thing." And you guys watch as Pharaoh steps back into the common room where this mess is. if you wouldn't mind, merely toss them out into the main chute. You can have Thomas do it if you'd like. I have collectors at the bottom. It'll be okay. Oh, and just in case, she tosses a small bag of 100 coins in the middle of the room. After all, you did pass the test. And, well, that's what I won. I think you deserve it. And she turns and goes back out, and you can hear her and Somni making their way slowly up just one more level. You can hear them talking, you just can't discern what they're talking or what they're saying about. Pharaoh looks at you and kind of just stares at you, and she goes, "What in the hell is Suit doing sending another Templar into the city? Has he not gotten any of my messages?"
I am unaware of any messages he may have received.
Well, if he sent you, then he clearly has not gotten them. They only send you out to learn more information. I've been sending him information for years. It's been 5 years since I've been able to go home and back to our brotherhood and sisterhood. I know I'm sorry. It is good to hear your voice again, Master Somni.
Indeed. With whom or what mechanisms were you sending these messages?
Oh, mostly agents of my choosing near the border of the frontier ward that we have with the Shattered Collar. Thinking back on it, that might not have been a wise decision, but I had no alternative. I cannot use magics to reach King Sut. This is the only way I can get information out, but perhaps there is some use in you helping me get this information out. We don't need to do it now, but it may be a discussion we should have later. And thank you for going along with the show in there. I know it's hard to see a fellow Templar doing what I have to do to maintain my place in this place. But sometimes we are forced to do things we may not be overly proud, but we find them necessary.
There's a much bigger picture and mission in mind. I do not mind, and that is why we almost lost our lives, as I was not going to use any of my magics to intervene.
Yes, I was impressed by that. I'm glad you figured out the importance of keeping that muted and under control. Now, you'll find that in some places it's okay, because there won't be other people around. But when you're amongst other citizens and wards guards and the personal guard of Rayburn himself, the Obsidian God, under no means should you ever cast magic of any kind around the Obsidian God. It is a death sentence for sure.
I understand.
Good. Well, you seem to have
What do you think our next move? What do you believe our next move should be?
I leave that up to you and your friends. I mean, you have to make it look honest and genuine that you made this choice. If I influence it, which, to be fair, I'm certainly going to try to influence you to select a family, I think it's the correct move. I don't know if it's the wise move. But it allows me to work in tandem with your findings. It allows us to perhaps use our own resources and means to continue what Soot has set us here to do. Find Rayburn's weakness, exploit it, and finally conclude this war that's been going for centuries and bring a little peace to Arafan for once, as opposed to continued bloodshed.
Hopefully we can get this peace across the entire land, and not just our two.
Ooh, yes, well, one mouthful of shit at a time, but yes, we will get there. So, feel free to rejoin your friends, merely, just in case. And she hits you across the face. Whack! A nice 1-point bruise just swelling up on your eye. Sorry about that, Somni, but just in case. And
I give her the secret handshake.
you
The secret handshake of soot.
guys are doing like the chicken wing dance.
Yeah.
You head back into the common room. For the rest of you, while Somni was out doing that, the three of you are in the remains of the common room, corpses laid about. Thomas standing there in his flower crown, looking very idle. What do the three of you want to do while Somni's away?
Dara's picking up the bodies and slinging them.
Okay,
she'll do the big heavy cleanup lifting.
fair enough.
That's a much smarter thing than what I'm doing. Just sitting down in the middle of the room with Thomas and making him a flower crown and kind of measuring his head and weaving and.
You know that's going to draw an extraordinary amount of attention.
You know that I'm not trying to hide.
I'm just saying you might die.
I doubt it.
They have me to protect them. They're not gonna die.
That is so sexy,
You're
Gray. You're like struggling right now. That's super
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah. It's rough. I'm having a rough time. Okay. But I believe that
You still haven't given your answer in any case.
About what exactly? Sorry, I got distracted. You started asking me. I started a metaphor, and then you got confused, so I had to explain it. And now we're to flower crowns. So what?
Do you wish to align yourself and join the rest of us in this allegiance to this Avicium person?
Well, I'm pretty sure that if I didn't, I wouldn't be the one that's dying. So it seems like you have a lot of stuff to do, and you need to stay alive for that. So yeah.
Fine. And listen, I'm not unaware of what you did. Call upon me if you need a service in turn.
We'll eventually get it through your head that sometimes people can just do nice things.
Yes,
you want one
it was
too,
a very nice
or-
service rendered.
A lot of services is the thing I do. Did you want one, by the way?
Just give me a pile of them. I don't need them arranged like that.
I can like imagine him sticking out of Harrow's mask.
I just want like a bag to start like finding out their properties.
So, Somni, as you finish coming down from the level above, you watch as Dara tosses the last of the bodies down the chute. The center massive shaft, and you hear this, the very bottom of it. You can hear some movement echoing up, like something's down there, but you're not really sure what. The room's been somewhat clean. It's not necessarily your guys' common room. It's just the room that you were in when this occurred. Yours is actually a floor down below. It's still mid-morning. You were on your way up to the surface to eventually have breakfast. The four of you are now looking at a small bag of 100 coins on a table. And what do you want to do?
Pick them up and separate them out. I'll just go over there and evenly distribute.
Okay.
These are water coins
They are tokens.
or gold?
They're tokens.
Those are
Gold? You mean the thing I have in my chess piece here? Worthless.
Pretty much. Unless you need them for components or something like that, then it has a little bit of value based on your arcane nature. But yes, in conjunction with your D&D Beyond, it would be equivalent to gold. In fact, every coin monetary I'll refer to will be equivalent to your gold counter, so it's just easier for you to keep track that way.
I've been
Okay.
keeping it in my inventory separate as item called 200 or 325 water tokens.
I've been having mine in gold. So, yeah.
No worries. So what are you guys doing?
I suppose I suppose an even split is fair.
Oh, I wasn't giving an option. Yeah, Dara's just like, no, it's even. We're being fair. There's no option to not.
Like her bloody wrapped knuckles, and she's like, 25, 25, 25.
Right.
Anybody in argument? Just staring him down.
I give no indication of the fact that I'm like, I nearly died. I'm gonna take my 25.
Yeah.
And then I will look at Somni. Grayson has acquiesced as well. We're of a mind. We'll do as we're asked.
Indeed.
For now.
For now. In any case, oh, we may need that person. Did anybody else just...
I think it was one of the groovies.
It's just one of the groovies.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, my bad there. I was very confused.
The fourth wall is still up.
Fourth wall, it's fallen!
It is
Do
still
you
erect.
need a review on what a wall is? Like the fourth one? Or
Or the
still a
fifth.
bit
Or the fifth wall.
concept of no. So we journey to a place. We search for artifacts. Everything was a little bit unspecific. Are we expected to have more details, or go about and figure it out ourselves?
Perhaps a little research is in order.
Yes, they didn't even leave directions. Well, if there are any books on the subject, I'll immerse myself in them.
I am sure there's a library in the city somewhere.
Yes, though perhaps not quite as elucidating as her family library.
Indeed. Procure access to that.
It's my intention, anyway. All right, fine. Give a direction. We can go and do our research together.
So with that, Somni, before Pharaoh left, she did indicate to you verbally the location of the Avaste family compound and where it could be located. And based on what you know of the city, from what you can remember of the illusionary description during the reception hall, introduction to Titan's Fall, it's probably about an hour's journey to the east of here, and it would take you to about the mid-ward point of Citizen Ward. And it's described as a series of medium and tall-shaped towers with a manicured kind of stone and desert-like compound. And Pharaoh said, you'll know it when you see it.
Perhaps it is time to make our allegiance known.
I am hesitant to go in person, signaling our allegiance. It carries certain overtures.
And it
But
carries a nice illusion as well. Perhaps.
I suppose if they're beneath the notice of any higher-up nobles, that's a bit of a shield. I don't like too many eyes on me.
I tap his mask. Indeed.
Somni, you've made a fine impression on me, but touch that again and we may have issue. All right. What do you two say? Should we venture to the compound?
Yeah, we should. But before we go, because obviously you're concerned about the amount of attention it would draw, here. I offer to give Harrow a yarrow flower.
Does this lessen attention on me somehow?
Yes.
I take the flower. Do I look less noticeable?
Yes, you blend in its natural camouflage.
I
Where's Haro?
Disappeared. Invisible, actually.
Oh.
It's a great
It's-
magical token.
is Dara so deadpan that I buy it, or
Give me an insight check. Dara, give me deception.
I kind of wish he bought it, but I did roll an at 20, so
Yeah.
I think he's like another one for the pile, I suppose.
I rolled an 18 too.
Oh.
So that was-
So it was a hell of a sell. at
Yes, it
least.
was.
Yeah.
You just bought
And-
shares in the Golden Gate Bridge.
I will give Dara a snapdragon when she disperses this coin,
Okay.
which I didn't hear how much it was, but we can figure that out later.
25 each.
And love it. And then I will offer Somni. It looks like it's spelled Protea.
While I
kind
thank
of a
you
thing.
for the offer, I must refuse.
All right. I tuck it into Thomas's flower crown.
So what are you guys doing? What's the plan?
Dara's going to kind of look at it and like sniff it, and then just like it's a snapdragon. Just I guess tuck it in like a little like breast pocket area.
Yeah, just like put it right there. Fair enough. So
I put mine in the little bag. I put the other flowers in.
that you were
Safekeeping.
collecting when she was putting them out behind her before.
We're gonna experiment on these. We're gonna taste them. We're gonna see if they hold innate magical properties. The whole 9 yards.
I mean, for the record, yours is the only one that has actual medicinal properties.
The yarrow.
I'm gonna
yeah.
find that out, and I'm gonna be excited.
Don't touch my flower.
Giggity.
That one's your flower. I got a flower. I got many flowers.
So with that, all of you, is Thomas going with you to the surface, or what's going on with Thomas?
Absolutely, Thomas is going with
Okay.
me. Are you kidding me?
Um,
What an impression to walk out with a skeleton with a flower crown. My God.
Oh god, we're gonna get into a fight immediately.
I'm gonna. Oh man, I'm gonna slay Thomas, and I'm gonna apologize to him first, though.
You're gonna attempt to, but I'm not just gonna let you have that.
You will not walk with this skeleton in the open. All eyes will be upon us, and you will probably be arrested.
For having a
Necromancy, magic, not allowed. Have you not been listening?
Have you not been paying attention to the amount of servants everybody has?
You are new. You are no one.
You're saying that like you are someone. We rolled into town together.
Does not make me hypocrite to tell you this.
He's literally a servant, a mindless servant. 90% of this
He
population is the
is-
mindless servant.
Right?
He is
has a point.
undead.
I would say for all of you,
Reduce, reuse, recycle. Remember?
for all of you, Gray has a point, but the point she's missing is that the other entities that
They.
are serving as slaves,
They.
that they're technically alive. This
They're
is a,
halflings with
this-
one arm and one eye. They are not undead. The moment you walk into the street with Thomas, you may be swooped up and never seen again.
The
Okay.
entire purpose behind my
Don't
attempt
believe me. Roll
Pres-
a new character.
Can we?
The
can we
entire purpose
confirm
behind my
that?
attempting to possess a warrant from this city was so that I would have permission to use my magic as I chose within its gates. Currently, I do not have such permission.
And did you not hear what's her name say that to us before she left about the magic?
Pharaoh, yes.
What's her name?
What's her face? That says the person that was the only person that had a private conversation with her. Yes.
I thought it was the person that freaking teleported Dimension Door out.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree that Thomas is an asset. Perhaps one better kept under wraps.
Can we
Got it.
clothe Thomas?
Got it.
Can we
Oh
clothe
no, I misphrased that.
Yes, got it.
Yes.
One moment,
work.
please.
Okay.
It'll work.
I'm gonna fill Thomas out with some vegetation
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Oh my god, we're
Looks-
making a flower golem.
Yep. And put his not his flesh, but his clothing back on him.
Okay.
Try to make him presentable.
Okay. Yeah, I
Then
mean,
what's his decomposition state? I mean,
He's a
Is he-
skeleton.
He's just
if
a
he's
skeleton.
technically a skeleton,
Yeah.
did all his skin and stuff fall off
Yeah.
when you made him?
yeah, I mean, she basically, in the act of bringing the skeleton into existence, it causes all of the flesh and everything just to kind of.
Do I
Lead
know
off.
what necromancy rule or law is in these two city states?
Not really. I mean, everybody. It's more about the act of using magic in
Right.
areas where it could be viewed as being suspicious or warrant the possible review by local authorities. It's more about
That's what I,
yeah, it's more about just creating suspicion, but they are going to decorate it. So I'll yeah, go ahead
they are
and
going
make
to take a chance.
yeah, I mean
I-
go ahead and give
I
me a sleight of hand check for starters.
I should kill it.
I have a bedroll, and I'm sleeping on a bed. If you really desire this thing, cut out a hood for it. As I toss my bedroll over to Gray.
Okay. I'll say with advantage if you want to make that sleight of hand with advantage, because Harrow is helping you.
First roll was another 18. Second roll was a 4. So I'll take the 18 for a sleight of hand of dirty 20.
Give me a performance check with advantage.
Unnecessary chances.
Truly think
I will
you're going
take
to
the
talk me out of
14 as opposed to the 3.
Now give me a deception check.
I will take the other 14 as opposed to the 7.
So with that, all of you stand back to look at the outcome. Staring at Thomas, very shabbily dressed, possibly peasant-like individual. At a distance, or even at a cursory glance, could pass as just kind of like an elderly man hunched over, trying to avoid any kind of eye contact, or could be a sickly individual, maybe traveling with it amongst you, could possibly make it. Whether or not this is going to pass getting into the Avaste household is a more specific question. That might be more
Let's not try.
difficult. Yeah,
Let's not try.
that might be more difficult. But getting him above ground and traversing the hour journey to the Avaste household, it could work. You never know.
If it should become disrobed, run and scream, act like it's terrifying.
Stop. We're going to have to work on our verbiage. He has a name. His name is Thomas. We need to stop calling him it.
My name is Thomas. You watch as a clump of the clothing falls away from his face.
Ah,
Thomas. Harrow.
barely Thomas. This is almost nothing of Thomas. This
Okay,
is maybe
Human.
Somna, you hear a voice in your head. Have you and your friends made a choice yet? I half expected you to join me upstairs by now.
We're concealing Thomas.
Just you wait. We'll be up shortly. We have a new friend.
Oh, well, the more the merrier, please. You guys all head upstairs at this point?
The mistress is awaiting our arrival upstairs. It's time to go.
So with that,
Yes,
it's a bit of a
Dara,
it's a bit of a slow journey up into the reception area, like the eating area above, as Thomas is the last one in line, and he's kind of plodding along at a very kind of slow pace. He's being very careful not to let his disguise fall away. About 5 minutes goes by, and you all make it upstairs. Pharaoh is leaning up against the bar, watches as all 5 of you come in the direction where she's leaning up against the bar. She's like, huh, that's actually pretty fucking good. I'm dying to see if we can make it through the streets with that. Let's go. And she like flips her hair and has a smirk on her face. All of you step out into a very busy mid-morning street. To say it's hot is an understatement. Immediately, the crown of flowers tucked inside begin to wilt and turn into nothing. The clothing begins to shift and shake, and all of you are kind of watching this, and you can see Pharaoh's just laughing.
I
And
leave. I'm going ahead of the...
and you watch somebody kind of realizing that the heat is just a burden. All of you are sweating profusely. And
my hood's up, my turban, everything.
Gray,
I'm
you're
just
walking
walking
aside.
away.
Thomas and Harrow, you're walking aside, and
I don't know.
Dara, you're up
flowers
in
react
front.
to it.
Pharaoh's just like every now and then looking back as this poor wilty flower is getting more and more wilty, and then
Okay.
but before you can do anything,
Thomas.
Grayson, you hear
Thomas.
someone bellow, "Oh, Arthur, you missed one. I'm not sure why this one's moving." And you see someone come over, grab Thomas, and toss him into one of the raptor receptacles. And then you just see these tails. That was weird.
That was my grandfather.
Oh, well,
He was alive,
he was mostly dead, let's be honest. We probably did you a favor.
but still
Move-
somewhat alive.
Move on. And you watch as the metal
He's not
sled
dead yet.
moves. You watch as a sound asleep drunkard in the street is picked up, tossed into the receptacle by 3 of them.
That guy's
Oh my god.
Could
he
we
was fully alive. What is wrong with you people?
can we move along? We
It's
need
Titanfall.
As we are walking,
Okay.
Dara's gonna like hang back and talk to Gray and just be like,
Okay.
I
It's
think
an
it would
it's
be
an
pretty
hour
cool.
long walk, and I'll say Harrow, Somni, and Pharaoh seem to be having just casual conversation and laughing a little bit at the same time as
I'm dying.
all of you are making your way.
I
In
hate
the-
joy.
Are you saying that out loud?
Categorically.
And that
I
leaves
hate you.
Dara, that leaves you and Grayson like taking up the rear.
Doing what now?
Dara and
take-
Grayson have
take
kind of
away.
fallen back a little bit and they're having a conversation. The 3 of you are out in front, kind of giggling about the Thomas situation.
One of the rare times Somni's actually amused.
I have a grim, wry amusement. I do not giggle.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dara.
God.
I thought it was really cool that you raised him from the dead.
I mean, look, like that's one thing that I could do, and it's much easier to do that to just make them be a skeleton. Or I guess, I mean, I could make a zombie. I thought maybe a skeleton would be less.
A zombie
Obvious?
probably would have been
Was it-
better, Dara. You're thinking flesh. You could disfigure it to look like one of the slaves. That probably, in your mind, you're like, yeah, that would have been cooler.
Yeah, I think maybe next time moving some flesh around maybe won't wilt as much as the flowers.
I thought maybe in the heat it would start to smell bad real fast.
Everything smells bad here.
That's
That's
fair.
a very
That's
good
fair.
point.
But actually, you want to know a fun thing about this? I can have 4 Thomases at the same time.
Whoa.
Now you're the
Small
person
family.
who's making Thomas into the broad name for a group of things.
Excuse me, sir. You're not part of this conversation.
That was just Dan. I'm
I
sorry.
know. Anyway,
Excuse me, Dara's trying to flirt with Gray by
Excuse
telling
me,
them
excuse me, we're
how
having a proper
cool their
conversation, sir.
skeletons are.
Dan sips back behind the fourth wall. It's fine.
Like Simpson.
so yeah, I can have 4 of them at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
But it
That
seems
sounds
like they
really
might
cool.
get mulched.
I'm sorry Thomas got mulched.
Do you know what mulching is? I realize
what
it's
is
kind of a
mulch?
garden term.
Does that come from those growing things that go by walls?
Yes.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
the one. I think your snapdragon is like. It seems like it's dead already. Not that I'm looking, but
Yeah, it's completely wilted. It's melting in the heat.
better idea. Maybe if there was like a book, I could like make them and we could like put them in a book because they're gonna dry out anyway. If you wanted to keep them, they're very easy to make. I don't know why it would matter. What? You killed a guy. That was cool.
I've killed a lot of people.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you do. Yeah. Like you do. I have plenty of experience with murder.
Yeah, I can tell.
Uh-huh.
So,
Plenty of experience. For sure.
All days of the week.
Yeah.
Only the
okay,
ones
yes,
that end in
that's
Y.
nice. Anyway, well, I'm glad you're also. I'm happy you're not dead too. That's a positive sign.
yeah, I'm pretty good at the not dying and the making the other people die. Yeah.
Debatable.
Well, most of the time.
hmm I'm pretty sure you died for at least like a half second.
Oh, you notice?
Death is kind of my thing. I don't know if you've picked up on that vibe yet. Kind of, I'd notice it. Yes.
Well, I didn't. So,
Yeah.
awkwardly looks around.
Yeah. But look. Hey, look. Is that? I don't think that guy was even asleep. I think that he was just like staring off into space. That guy that just got thrown in the thing. So we also can't zone out. We need to not pass out drunk, but we also can't zone out.
Good tactics. Good tactics.
Safety in numbers, I think.
So we're safer with 4 more Thomases.
Yes. Yep. Thomas's, not the buddy system. I wasn't thinking about the buddy system. I was thinking of Thomas. Yep. And Gray just starts like messing with things, just things on their person.
You
Just
okay
make it-
over there?
They suddenly feel like they need adjusting things.
The hour
I'm-
goes by surprisingly quick as the awkward conversation between Grayson and Daria continues all the way through the streets. Haro and Somni kind of listening to Pharaoh describe some common knowledge things in regards to the Citizen Ward. All 5 of you stop at the same time as Pharaoh kind of points. He goes, we are here. And as she points in the direction, you see these 2 massive like metal gates, maybe 40 feet high, each one about 10 feet wide. You can see these 2 constructs on either side of the gate. They are wearing heavy kind of like metal attachments around them. They appear to be bolted. In the very center is like this glowing red orb. They float they kind of move about. They see Pharaoh, and then they immediately move over to the gate, and there's like a buzzing noise or a pulsing noise, and the gate immediately, and you watch as, and as the twin gates begin to peel back and open, you find yourselves staring into a section of the city you don't remember being able to see from outside of it. There are many different conical, like stone towers placed all about this compound of simple kind of sage and cactus and other desert type vegetation, sickly in appearance. The ground and rock and coloration of the desert grounds seemingly put into a purposeful pattern to look pleasant or look like it's being groomed or taken care of. You can see these additional constructs moving about the grounds, either doing taskless or mundane work of moving, shifting, going about almost like a daily duty of managing the grounds. No living creature seems to be above. Pharaoh quickly hustles you into a primary entrance of a stone archway with a series of stairs leading down and down and down. It feels like you walk down about 100 feet into the ground, and you can immediately feel the temperature difference as the heat is evaporating out of the space and the coolness of the underground space is coalescing around you. Standing at the reception area is the young Avaste, the young Avasium Avaste is standing there looking at you with her hands on her hips going, well, I have to say, I think you've chosen well. And that's where we're going to finish tonight, everybody.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that was
it's
so cool. That was so cool. I promise, Kevin, I'll get better at breaks. I meant to take a break after the
No,
combat.
it wasn't. No. I left myself logged in for work. I have 3 hours of overtime. I need to address with HR.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had to log out on ADP. My bad.
All right, so
yeah,
with
that
that,
was
we're going to close out for the night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Me and Kevin next week are going to talk about more giveaways coming up. We
Lots
have
of stuff to do.
Yeah, we have lots and lots of stuff going on. New shows for Tuesday and Wednesday. Heirs of Anarchy starting next Wednesday. Basilica of the Cudgel Sunday 6 to 9. Do you have a time slot in mind for Heirs of Anarchy, Kev?
Yeah, looking to go 6 to 9 on that.
Okay. And then, of course, every Friday night here on RPG Chronicles, you can find Age of Arcanum, where we're going to be going into some pretty dark places. We will see if Grayson can hold up under the pressure, see if Somni...
They're a drow.
Well, she's a different kind of drow. She's not quite the old school drow. These drow tend to be a little bit more sensitive because they've been living with their above ground cousins for a very long time. So I'm actually enjoying the way she's playing her character. It's kind of fun. So with that, as always, everybody out there, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to play a game. Bye, everybody. See you next week. See some of you Sunday. And we're done. Woohoo! Oh my God. I'm actually so the lag that I was having at the beginning of the game, Kev, was because I logged into Twitch through the browser.
Yeah.
So it was sucking up all my bandwidth and all my resourcing. As soon as I turned it off, everything was fine. So
Awesome.
Oh my God.
Good job, you guys. That was a lot of fun.
that was